Listen, listen, listen. May the 4th be with you. And man, there was something we used to do, well, the past 2 years, but not this year. We'll talk about that in a second. Welcome to One Into a Rams, where I will ramble on for the next 3 hours or until this thunderstorm knocks my power out. Hopefully it doesn't, because I'm not good without power. It's hard to do a show without power. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing wonderful. I hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend. Hope you guys all had a wonderful May the 4th. Yeah. If you remember the past 2 years, we have done a May the Power of the Force streams and a whole thing, but I do way too much. And it's one thing I kind of forgot about this year, and I just didn't have time to do it and try and organize it, as I have so much other stuff going on. Although it was fun to do, unfortunately, it's just one of those things that I completely forgot about. And other than 2 or 3 people, I think everyone else forgot about it too, because no one really mentioned to me, and I was like, damn it, someone did, and I was like, man, I thought everyone would have forgotten. But anyway, hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend. We had a nice chilly weekend here in Michigan, so didn't really do too much. It's crazy how much a few 65, 70-degree days will do to you when it hits like 49, and you're like, I'm not going outside to do anything. Where a month ago, 49 you hit, and you're like, oh man, it's t-shirt weather. Get outside, do some stuff around the house. Yeah, that wasn't happening this weekend. So, but yeah, it's one of those things. I did some content. Some of you may have seen one video with a figure that kind of went and kind of just blew up into pieces. That was interesting. I've already sent it back, and I've already had one person message me and ask me, like, if I still had it, because they wanted to buy it off me, because it didn't even dawn on me, and I should have kept it longer. Never really looked at the inside of one. You pop out the O-ring and you take that apart, unscrew it. I did have somebody say that all I needed to do was put a screw in it. I actually think they were serious. That's what kind of, I guess, worried me about that. Like, is that the right? I think they were serious, which kind of worries me. But yeah, and I keep me because what do they call it? Sonic welding. I keep meaning to look up sonic welding and see how that's actually done. But to the people that said, hey, you know what, you could have just glued it. I understand what I could do. I mean, it's me fixing it was not an issue. I mean, I could have easily done that. There's no reason for me to. It's brand new. It should not be like that. Which means, hey, what if something else goes? I sent it back to Amazon. Amazon did the, hey, what if we take $8 off? Do you still want to keep it? And the answer was no. I still don't want to keep it. I'd like you to take it back, and I'll wait for my other one to come, which did come yesterday. And you can see I did an almost 3-minute short, kind of showing off. And I haven't seen anyone else, or on the interwebs, on the networks, talk about it, and I haven't seen anyone else have an issue. So I think it was just a one-off. The comments that people will sit there and say, "Oh, Hasbro being Hasbro, look what they're doing, poor quality." I'll say it again, and I don't do reviews to try and destroy a company or a product or a line or anything like that. Now, I've reviewed well over 200 classified figures. I've had a couple breakages, but I think I have close to 400 different classified figures, and that doesn't include the Marvel Legends and stuff. I've had very few defective figures. So it's hard to sit there and say, hey, you know what, this is bad. Obviously, you saw I had Fresh Monkey Fiction. I had one broken there. I've had a couple Valaverses that broke. No big deal. Obviously, we've seen Super 7. They're a whole nother story. But To me, I've always talked about it's not if a figure breaks, it's how a company handles it. And again, this you have to go through Amazon, and I know people get really aggravated. Um, People get really aggravated if Hasbro won't take care of a figure you bought from Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store, but you're not supposed to. When I had an issue with one of my Valaverse figures, when I contacted Valaverse, he asked, "Where did you get it from?" I said, "Big Bad Toy Store." He said, "You need to contact them." I remember contacting Big Bad Toy Store, and this was, Hasbro also told me the same thing. They said, "No, you're supposed to contact us." When there was my buddy had a bad Mezco, from BBTS, same thing. So that's the way of the world. Like they don't, you don't deal with the company directly, although everyone thinks Hasbro should. And unfortunately, it's not really their issue. The company that bought that off of them, they're the ones that need to deal with it. So, but I'm the only one that I've seen. I'm not saying there's not other people. Maybe there are other reviews, but I haven't seen anything on like Instagram or anything like that where people have, shown off a broken Zanya. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But hey, I knew what I was doing when I created that. I knew what I was doing when I created that thumbnail. I'm not gonna lie. And then other than that, just watch some TV with my daughter. I have this thing. I used to love Blue Bloods. Now it's Boston Blue. It's definitely one of those ones that it's a guilty pleasure. In all honesty, if you're watching Marshall's, the spinoff of Yellowstone, the exact same thing. It is your CBS law enforcement typical TV show, and I love it. It is such a guilty pleasure. So I watched those. I think we watched an episode of 90210, but yesterday she was doing some homework, and I put an episode of actually the first episode of 24 on, and she actually enjoyed it. And I was like, "Mike, do you want to watch? Do you want me to wait?" She's like, "I kind of want to watch it." So we're still gonna be watching 90210, but I think we're gonna be bouncing back and forth. We're already we're towards the end of season 4 of 90210. I think I looked, and was it 26 or 32 episodes in that season 4? I'm like, holy crap. Shows are lucky to get a 13 episode season, and 90210 is like pushing out like 30 episodes a season. Can you imagine having a TV show like that now? I can't believe it would happen. Anyway, let's say hi to the chat. There is 50 people watching. So if you haven't yet, please hit that like button. Also, you're going to want to make sure you vote in the poll. As again, let's be honest, I'll get more votes in the poll. There's 16 people that have 16 people that have hit that thumbs up, and there's 39 people that have voted. So it looks like the hobby not pressing you out just yet. But anyway, let's say hi to the chat. A lot of people watching right now. I know you guys are coming over from different streams. Other people are watching other streams, so maybe you're catching this on the replay. So same time, Toys has jumped in and said, I've been priced out since I started collecting again, but that won't stop me. Well, again, you got to live within your means, or at least you should live within your means. Krusty Old Crow is here. We have Blue Barnella saying, I've got organs I can sell to keep me in the hobby. And as I said, that's the spirit, Blue Barnella. We'll talk about Spirit 2 in a second. Paul Morales is here. We have Darth Berkey. We have the Mr. Wonderful, who I'm still waiting on the rest of my Hexa stacks to get that taken care of. We have Andrew Taylor says, I don't know if I would say priced out, but I have become much pickier with what I get. I'm no longer a completionist, and that is something I fully understand, and we'll definitely be discussing that a little bit. We have GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community. Snow Wolf, look at that. I put the L in it. I know it drives people nuts. It drives people nuts if I don't say Wolf and put that L in it, like Hulk Hogan. Debo DNA, who Gonna have them on soon. Him and Plastic Fantastic, which we will be talking about shortly. Cooking with Eric is here. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. You mean the expensive ground. Beardy McPearson is here. And again, Darth Burke, I say, may the 4th be with you. Matthew Matson saying there is no almost button. I'm almost priced out of in-store mass-produced items. Those are the ones I'd want more, to be honest. Nolan, which makes us Toy Tube official. Here is Plastic Fantastic. The other half of that sounds kind of whatever. Viper Scout has joined us. We have U.S. Combat Dojo Alex Martinez, War Chest Full of Toys, who is probably right now sending some leaks to Viper Island, so he cannot use any of them. Spaded one Dysentery. I got it right. I have not seen you in a while. It is great to see you here. Say the low end of the hobby is pricing me out. The premium stuff gets price hikes too, but they don't hit as hard. I think you're onto something there, because if you look at like BBTS, even back before, they were charging like an extra $1 for, Hasbro stuff, like $26 when they were $25 for Classified, Black Series, and Legends, right? But anything that was like over 45 or 55 or whatever, they didn't add that buck, because they probably saw like, hey, people can't do this, and it's smart on their part. But again, they're even taking a bath, let's be honest. Callister has joined us. Clint Jorgensen saying, in Yojo June, do a may the power of the Force for G.I. Joe next month. Man, I don't have time. I wish I did. I really wish. I wanted to do something for Joe, but man, it's hard, and I don't think they're doing what they used to do. The with Cobra Virgins, I believe is what it was called. I was only part of it one time. Lost Ranger 87 jumping in saying, "Sup, dog? Good to see you, punk." Hey, I'm here. We have Action Figs, one of the other moderator, who, just so you know, Ed, make sure you are free this Thursday because you're on the show. I forgot to message you. G.I. Jetman has joined the chat too. Who else is there? Is anyone else new? We got Evil Dookie jumping. MTC Collects. He's changed his name more than once or twice. Tony's Figs is here. Let's see. G.I. Bro changes it. I don't like when people change their avatar, but I like this one better. The other one, you look much smaller. This one, you can see those arms. Like, you are just busting out there. Russell Lemieux has joined us. I've never told you this. I really hate saying your last name, all because of Claude Lemieux and the turtle that he is, and what he did to Chris Draper in 1996 for the Detroit Red Wings. But then Darren McCarty beat the living holy shit out of him, and it made it all worse. That was March 26, 1997, which led to the Detroit Red Wings dynasty. All right. I know no one gives a shit. 3-star draw is here. And you won't ever hear me saying that I was at the March 26th brawl between the Red Wings and Colorado Arrogance, because I was not. Troy Bleaford has jumped in the chat. Tony saying, I got Zanya today, and she did not come with breakaway torso. What the hell, Hasbro? A matter of fact, the way it broke apart kind of reminded me of the original Star Wars speeder bike that would just kind of break apart. That's exactly what it did for the most part. The Thanos copter is here. SCS dog. Let's see. Is there? Cooter's Garage. That name is still. It's so cool and yet so kind of creepy in many ways. I think we're close to the end of getting through everyone. Derek Holloman. Is there anyone else? We have Ray Black jumping in, and come on. I like to say hi to everyone, And once you get to the end, you start to see, oh, look, Fatrid. I have not seen Fatrid in quite some time. Great to see you again. I hope this means you're going to be around for a little bit. All right, man, man. Is there anyone else? Anyone else? Stephen K. I think that's it. Oh, no. Snake. Hello, Punk and chat. How's everyone doing tonight? Whew. If you ever wonder how I go this long, 3 hours, I do stuff like this. Say hi to Todd C. There's Jetman again. I saw a new one pop up over here. Stew for lunch. I don't speak Spanish. I'm not even gonna bring it in. Good evening, happy Cinco de Mayo to those who celebrate it. Is it? I guess it is. Allison Troy jumping in here, and she was the one that I saw over here in 1 second. 80s Joe saying, hey, Pug and chat. And here comes Allison Troy, member for 35. Dude, that's great. 35 months. She was the second channel member, but she is the longest standing one. So you get a
fucking Phil Collins.
Allison gets this.
Welcome to the creamery.
Because technically, she is the one that named it the creamery. But asking my daughter to do the voice was just better than asking her to do it. And there's Payne's toy samples. I'm glad to see you have been coming around a little bit more. And I mentioned, I think maybe it was last Monday, I'd love to see you start doing your show again, man. I really would. I thought you did a wonderful job. Not as good as I do my Thursdays, but I don't think anyone does a show as good as me. Anyway, Derek Holloman, member for 25 months. Seriously, this
fucking Phil Collins.
It's crazy to think that. All right. Let's see here. Troy Bleefer says a lot more money for toys now on the Pulse side. Yeah. Well, there's it's expensive everywhere. SCS dog, member for 6 months. Oh shit, look at this.
Fucking Phil Collins.
There you go with that. We have Matthew Matson, member for 32 months. You would have thought that the moderator would have been the first one, but he wasn't. But you know what? He still gets the
fucking Phil Collins.
I'd say poor Phil Collins. He has more things to worry about than being fucking Phil Collins. He's in really rough shape. Anyway, what else was I going to talk about? I had all kinds of stuff to talk about. Like I got a whole list of things. This is just the opening. Not to mention there ended up being more toy news than I had anticipated. MTC Collects, member for 34 months, and that was not his name when he started.
Fucking Phil Collins.
That's all he gets here. Stew for lunch, member for 7 months. Say, damn, I am a baby with some of these other members. You are, but it's great to have you here.
Fucking Phil Collins.
I should just have Olivia come in and say it. It's a lot easier than hitting it. Allison Troy says Phil Collins needs to worry about the fires he hates. He's going to suffer for the evil, the fires of Hades. Oh, sorry. He's going to suffer for the evil he has unleashed upon the world. I ain't gonna lie. I still like Phil Collins stuff. Oh, and yeah, I still like Phil Collins stuff. Let's see here. We have hi, it's me. You put your name in the pre-order, and then if you win, they send you product. Very true. And then who's jumping in here? GI Bro, member for 24 months. I need to do this.
Fucking Phil Collins.
And get it all done at the beginning of the month, just so I think you only get to use the free one time. So we got Charlie Braun here, which, man, I don't feel like I've ever seen you before. So, new people, and maybe you've been here before. But if not, I haven't played in a while.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You got to understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
Charlie Brown saying, these figures are getting too pricey. I'm left downsizing my collection of Hasbro, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Classified, and Reactions, not to mention New York City $2 tax on each figure. Woo! That is definitely rough. There's no doubt about that, but that stuff Yeah, as the prices just keep going up and up and up and okay. And Roman just came in here along with Olivia. So you know what? Here we go. Beardy McBeardison, member for 20 months, saying all this free time filler with the Milestones posts. You know what you do right here, right? What do they get for returning members? You remember?
Fucking Phil Collins.
That's right. You gotta say it louder though.
Fucking Phil Collins.
And then look, we have a brand new member, Blue Barnella.
Welcome to the creamery.
She's actually staying off camera, which is odd because normally she's always here. Oh, look, now they're gonna say
What the heck?
what? Like another one. Nolan, member for 30 months.
Fucking Phil Collins. You know what he said to me? He was like, "Do you really have to move your eyes like that to think?"
Wait a minute. Talk about not having any type of context. She says something about like, how did you mentioned something to me about thinking and you went like this.
No, because
Well,
I
they
was
can't see it.
thinking about doing like I was.
And I said, you need to move your eyes
No,
like
I
that
was
to
trying
think.
To think of what you like the answer. And then it was made fun of.
Yes. And did you expect anything less?
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, that is my daughter Olivia,
Hi.
and
Go say hi.
well, the beanbag is over there. If you bring the beanbag over here,
He's
he'll
not
come
even
over.
on.
I know he's not on right now, but he will. Like there's Olivia.
Go. Come here.
Everyone knows Olivia. If you don't, you definitely were hearing her a second ago. Anyway,
Move your chair. Show the dog.
look, there's a dog. Hi, buddy. Want to say hi to everyone? Come up here. Look, say hi. I know it's been a while since you've been up here. Your legs getting better.
You guys are kind of matching with your chin hair.
You remember when he used to have a tag and now the tag's no longer there? Oh, Ed says
Well,
hi.
if you tuned in on Circle of Jerks, you would have seen it yourself.
Look, Ed is saying hi to you. And he's
Hi, Ed.
very disappointed that you decided not to come to Joe Fest this year.
Oh my god.
I told you.
He said you guys wouldn't want to see me next year. You gotta be sick of me.
I said they might be sick. They might be sick of me by then. They're probably sick of me by now.
But I'm an exception.
Because just Darren says, "What's up, Olivia?"
Hello.
This is what I get to deal with. Like, this is like a daily experience. And Allison says that, yep, they're all sick of me already.
But not me.
It's still kind of a big deal, though.
Me too.
No, look. She says, send Olivia and Roman in your place.
I think I make good money. I think I get all the views.
Oh, she'd get all the views. What?
All the views.
All the YouTube views she would get if she did a show. And Krusty O'Crow, member for 19 months. So,
Fucking Phil Collins.
all right. You said fuck around me enough now. Woody 222 jumping in here saying, what up, people? And Woody always
That's
gets
one
the.
who do a donut.
I cannot believe you remember that.
Oh, well, trust I do.
Woody, did you hear that?
Freaking donut.
She remembers that you couldn't blow a donut when you were smoking on your show because she was asking me.
He was like, I don't smoke to do tricks. I smoke to smoke. I was like, okay, well, have a little fun with it. Have a little fun.
Charlie says, question, how can you manage to have a huge collection and balance raising a family at the same time?
I have to get his packages.
My kids are 19 and 17. So the collection was not what it is before. YouTube has made it. Yeah, sure. YouTube has made it possible for me. I'm one of the lucky ones, to be 100% honest with you. And I've mentioned it numerous times. I have found a way to manage through YouTube, through the Amazon affiliate links and different things like that to make it work. That's it. If I'm not doing YouTube and the channel isn't growing to what it is, I'm not I'm not buying like what you guys see. I don't get product for free. I mean, I've gotten a few things, but nothing really. And then I have her, and she's something. Ronnie trick shot jumping in and saying, "Classified Ronnie reporting for duty." Yes, I like classified Ronnie. Woody says, "I always do. Smoke is my oxygen." Yeah, but you couldn't blow the ring. She wanted you to blow the ring, and she was very disappointed.
I got tears in my eyes.
Yes, totally. She totally has tears in her eyes.
Well, back then. First time.
Anyway.
First time I've ever felt so disappointed in my life.
Yeah, that's
Most disappointing.
yeah. She's so full of shit. I don't know where she gets it from.
No, I had to get it all out.
Oh,
When I came home, that's the first thing I did.
do you hear her?
You didn't
She's
have
not
to.
full
You
of.
didn't have to.
She's not full of shit. She got it all out when she got home. Like seriously, this is the type of stuff I have to deal with. HK Viper saying evening all. He tunes in to hear. He tunes in to hear her talking about what she's getting out of her system.
You should know I have healthy bowel movements.
Oops. Ed saying, "Woody, a professional smoker like you can't blow smoke rings. Disappointing."
Exactly.
Woody says, "It isn't the first time I made a teenage girl cry. I have all daughters." Stanley jumped in here saying, "Hey now." What?
Do they cry because you can't smoke good?
Did you hear? Do they cry because you can't smoke good? I think you can smoke perfectly fine.
Well, it's not good.
Dominic Johnson says, "What is the deal with some YouTubers constantly getting classified figures as gifts? Punk, what is your opinion on that?" I don't know who gets them as gifts, and I mean that sincerely. I know there are some people that some people will send stuff to. I don't fully believe when a lot of YouTubers say they get stuff for free. Now, I'm not saying I've never gotten anything for free. I mean, I've gotten some custom stuff. But if you're talking about some of the bigger YouTubers, like guys like Robo and MCU Collects, Dan Who, some of those guys, they have deals either with Hasbro, some of them have them with Big Bad Toy Store. I really have no issues with a company that wants to send free product to a YouTuber that is going to promote their stuff. It's the way of the world. I mean, you look at Lincoln and Cadillac, they get these they get guys to advertise their stuff. It's no different in this world. Now, if you're talking about YouTubers that beg and cry and they want people to send them shit and they're begging for super chats and stuff, I think that's a bunch of bullshit. If you can't afford to go out and again, if someone sends you something, awesome. But if you're one of those people kind of begging for it, if that's what you're talking about, I don't know who does that. I would say that's just awful. But that's never going to be me. Charlie's asking, will we ever see the return of the 1/18 scale, 1/18 inch and 6-inch G.I. Joe figures? Well, we have vehicles. We have vehicles in 6-inch. I believe Super 7 will eventually get around to doing so. I don't think we're going to see them anytime soon from actual Hasbro. It's just not. They've looked. The money is in the 6-inch figures, and that's what people are buying. Yes, there is still a collector. There still is a base for 1/18 scale. I still buy the stuff. We have Delta 17. I don't see Hasbro doing it anytime soon. They still have the molds, and eventually they'll do things here and there, but I don't think it's going to be a big thing, and I don't see a lot of new stuff coming. Everything's being pushed into the 6-inch scale. And then we have Chubu speaking moistly, saying, "Good evening, folks. Great to have you here." Let's see here. Anyway, I didn't get through shit so far. because Olivia came in. I'm going through the chat. 69 people watching. So please hit that like button if you haven't. It really does mean a lot. All right. So as for all the videos that I've been doing, and kind of what prompted this is all the stuff that's coming from Big Bad Workshop. And at $40 a pop, some of them were like 38, 37, something like that, because I ordered them early. Again, ordering the 5 packs of Soldiers of Fortune, you get the, I got the Jaguar as part of that for free. It's expensive. I saw when Agents of Omega, which I think was $45, it went back up on the site for $55, which means, they saw, hey, you know what? We either have a limited amount, we're raising the price on it, or what it costs them to get them made, it ended up going up by the time they got it. So that's kind of where it stemmed from. But I was able to get the whole order. The whole Order of the Crimson Moon figures done. Now, I'm not a Palatoy guy. If you know anything about the Palatoy Action Force Red Shadows, this is what they are based after. They call it the Order of the Crimson Moon. They've given you specific heads that you can swap so you can create the actual Action Force Red Shadows. I am planning on doing a video to show you guys how you can make it, how they're going to look, how I'm probably going to use them in my display. But that is within the week. I think I'm going to be working on it. It's something I actually want to do. Not like my review style, a little bit different, kind of showing you guys, what the figures are. I don't even know the figures, but there's also the Skeletron figures that go with it too. And it does suck that the actual Skeletron figure is not here yet, because that would have fit in perfectly with it. So I did get through all of those. I like those a lot more than I guess I was thinking. I know they're all just red and black, but man, they really do pop. I've gotten through all but one of the Soldiers of Fortune. The yellow figure is coming out tomorrow with a review. Again, it's like the red one. And then the black one is the last one I have to do. Agents of Omega. Guy doesn't have a name. Probably my favorite figure of all of those that I got. I was not expecting to really like that figure that much, but man, the Captain Kirk head is awesome. The snake is just a statue, but it works. And then we have the last one, which was the Fresh Monkeys. And that was the one that had the broken arm. Once again, they took care of it right away. They send me out a new one. They did the same thing with this guy right here, the not hooded Cobra Commander. So BBTS will take care of you. I've seen a lot of people, and I have no issues with people posting if something breaks, online, right? That's what the social medias are there for. It's so to let people know. There are other people that they think it's wrong. Like, you should not do this. But the one thing you shouldn't do is throw a fit. And I'm not saying anyone has, but we've seen it happen in the past where they'll throw a fit. And it's okay to be disappointed, but if you haven't contacted the manufacturer and gone about the business that way, then don't be throwing a fit about it, because you don't know what they're going to say. There's going to be defects and stuff happens, and most of them will take care of you. So just be careful. Again, of all the figures, that was one of the few I've had that arm on the Fresh Monkeys on a bunch of figures, and that's the only one that I had an issue with. Perceived Velocity saying, this is a very expensive hobby. I like the BBTS stuff, but the price has eliminated impulse buys for me. And that, again, that's kind of where this kind of stemmed from. Their price point. They talked about their NPCs, non-playable characters that are going to be coming. And everyone's hoping that they're not going to be running the $40 price range. And I'm with them. But do they have an incentive not to do it? You look at their Soldiers of Fortune. Well, they're basically non-playable characters too. They don't have names, and for the most part, they're still selling at $40. Snake says, opening up my pile of loot now, the entire Crimson Moon wave minus the hooded figure. I've got faith in Hasbro doing an official one. No, they are. I mean, I can confirm that they are doing a hooded Cobra Commander. It is, we've already talked about it. It is King Cobra Commander, and that crown goes on the hood. All right. I know everyone thinks it's something else. That is all the stuff that I have that has been brought to my attention. So, Brandon R jumping in here saying, "Hey all, woo! I'm so far behind right now." Thatcher says BBTS was really cool with a QC issue I had with 1/18th Commander Coco figure. I sent them a couple of vids and they replaced it. Never had a problem. And I've had a few things. Now, again, I know the Big Bad Mike, he watches at least my reviews. And I know for the first, like this figure right here, he just automatically sent me another figure. He posted a comment. He sent me the figure right away. He also made a comment on the Fresh Monkeys, and then he sent me a message saying, "Hey, you know what? Another one's going out." Now, I'm a little bit different because obviously he's seeing my videos. They appreciate what I'm doing because, you know, I'm not begging and pleading for free stuff. You know, if someone ever wants to have a working relationship with me, and this kind of goes back to getting free product. If someone ever want to have a working relationship with me, that's up to them to contact me. I'm not going to go chase somebody. I'm not going to beg and plead. As my good friend Bees Battleground once told someone, I'm not going to suck dick for free product. I'm with them there. Like, if you want to work with me and you think that what I do would benefit you, then great. If you don't, then I'm going to buy the product that I enjoy. And either way, I want to give my honest review or my honest opinion. Again, my opinion, again, look at that Zanya. It fell apart. That was my experience. I'm not throwing a fit about it. It sucked. Now I got another one. You know, I think the most aggravating thing for me was I did it to send it back to Amazon. I go to Amazon, or I go to UPS store, and I go to look, and I realize they want me to box it up. They've never asked me to box anything up. They just say bring it back like in the box, and they usually put it in a bag. So I had to go back and box the shit up, which was just my fault for not reading, but more annoying. Machine Man jumping in says there's still a video about Cold Slither being sold out, and Hasbro hates fans, even though it's been in stock since. Yes, that was a whole nother thing, right? People losing their shit over that, right? People losing their shit over the Cold Slither and how they're done. They're done, and yet it came right back. People spending $250 on that set. And I'm like, dude, just wait. Just wait. It's probably never going to go above that. So just hold on. All right. And we'll talk about a figure that sold out and then got canceled and then came back in. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, I did the whole, I'm almost done with the whole Big Bad Workshop wave. Obviously, I did Zanya. I did Rotclaw. I'm sorry, Professor Rotclaw. He's a decent figure. I could buy dinosaurs, but for some odd reason, give me a classified dinosaur, and he's awesome. I will reiterate, I could do the greatest fucking picture in the world, and if it is not G.I. Joe, Skeletron, or Big Bad Workshop, it's not going to get many views. I dropped a video on my Instagram today. I'm sorry, a picture, not video, picture of Maximum Deadpool feeding a chimichanga to the dinosaur with Rotclaw like dead behind him. And I thought it was awesome. I put a little caption. I don't care how he treated you. You're only getting 2 bites. Like, nobody cares for it. It's like, it's not really G.I. Joe. I'm not going to like your picture. I'm like, all right, whatever. I had a lot of fun doing it. That's all that I can say to that. And I have more. I've had a lot of fun with the dinosaur, and I can only do a little bit because I'm trying to do stuff, and I got other things going on in my life. So I'm gonna have more pictures with that. I already got an idea with Chatsworth. So yeah, I need to get downstairs and get outside and start doing some more pictures. Helly Geek is jumping in here saying, happy Monday, folks. And we have action figures. So separately saying, Instagram is impossible, man. Well, I'll just say it now. If you're on Instagram and you're not following me and you like anything that I do, I'm 18 followers away from hitting 2,000. Instagram's been hard for me, way harder than YouTube and growing subscribers or followers or whatever you want. But if you're on Instagram and you're not following me yet and you think that anything I might do, and again, if you don't think that I give you anything, I'm not the one for one, like I subscribed to you and I followed you, follow me back. No. If I follow you and you look at my stuff and you're like, you don't give me anything that I'm interested in, then don't follow someone back. I'm not gonna get hit with, I'm not gonna get upset with it. Not at all. Woody says, Hasbro just hit me $42.76. I wonder what it could be. Any clue, anyone? Rockclaw? Do you? I don't know. And now you make me want to go look and see if I'm getting anything. Rockclaw is the only one that I could think, and I canceled mine because I already got it from Amazon. But I don't know. Does anyone else know what Hasbro decided that they're shipping right now? Because I'm still waiting for them to actually package up my my ramp rats and ship those bad boys out. All right. Woo. Okay. On to the next thing. Look, we're only right here. This Thursday, we are suspending Thursday with a Friend. It is not going away, but now it is called the Drive to Joe Fest. And I know you might be thinking, you are really onto this Joe Fest thing, like, right? Like, you don't stop talking about it. You act like it's cool. No, seriously, it is one of the best times you will have this year if you go. I mean it. I've had so much fun both years. When Ed came over, when I was in New York, he's like, I need the vacation. I'm like, dude, I'm with you, right? I'm definitely with you. Now, obviously, I have a 2-week vacation because I'm driving right down to Orlando after that. But to kick off that, I'm just looking forward to it. So anyway, we are starting with the Drive to Joe Fest. You can see the thumbnail that I'm doing. This week, we start off with Ed and Ed. So we're having Ed Schumacher, the promoter and owner of Joe Fest, along with my moderator, Ed. Now, all these people that you're going to be seeing, all these people that you're seeing on the shows, they are going to be at Joe Fest. They are on their way there. If you're not going, I'm kicking your ass out. I don't want you on. Again, it's the Drive to Joe Fest. It is about people that are going to be there. So quickly, the rundown for the next 2 months. We have Ed and Ed. The week after, Debo and Plastic Fantastic. They will be joining me. I met them at Joe Fest. Both of them have been gracious enough to send me stuff for free. This was the first thing that Plastic Fantastic, I think, gave us. A bunch of us at Joe Fest. And yes, it is a 3D printed version of the that little belt carrier that you can put the figures in, and it does fit the 6-inch figures. And I don't know, it no longer has that on the inside. Yeah, the inside still. Oh man, the inside still has the paint smell. But they will be joining me. Let's see here. I think Ed just said something. Ed says, I've been looking forward to this since last June. Yes. Again, Joe Fest is so... Dude, it's... Yeah. You leave it and you're like, I'm ready to go. Okay. After that, we have Podcasts from the Pit. So there's a few of those guys that are associated with Podcasts from the Pit. They're going to be on. Then we have Smoking Joe's. Now, originally Smoking Joe's was going to be 4 people. Now it is down to 2 people because unfortunately, Tony and Fox cannot go. It's too bad. I was really hoping to finally get to meet Tony and his lovely wife, Fox. But unfortunately, they're not going to be able to go. So as of right now, it is looking like just Woody and Shane will be joining me. after that, we have the guys from Delta 17. So we have Ken. We're gonna have Steve, who's I don't think Steve's ever been on the show. I believe Emerald Knight, and then Wilhelm Scream. They all help work the booth, so I'm gonna have the 4 of them on. All of them, but Steve, I think I've had on Thursday with a friend. Then we have the Backyard Battlefield. We'll have Pop, Darren, and Crow all joining in because technically I'm throwing Pop in with that. And then to kick it off, the week before we're leaving, the Circle of Jerks, Tony's Figs will be there, some Baldy Fox reviews, and then kind of an honorary member, Bees Battleground. They will all be joining me for Thursday with the friend. I'm sorry, the drive to Joe Fest. And it's, again, this is basically me trying to get everyone to say, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Let's all go to Joe Fest because you're going to have a blast. It's not about hanging out with me or someone else. There's so many people there, like-minded people. Contrary to what some people will go around and say that people just want to be seen there. It's just about being with friends that you have made over the past couple years through this weird fucking thing we call YouTube. I used to tell my son, like, those aren't real friends. They're just internet people. No, you find out they're real friends. You really do. Tristan T has jumped in here saying, howdy, Lawrence and fellow aficionados of awesome. Well, thank you very much. And then I did see 610 Yojo Jenny saying, what's up, punk? What's up, chat? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Yes, please do. It helps out the algorithm more than you've realized. Did I say hi to US Combat Dojo? Says, I'm going this year. Can't wait. Well, make sure you come up. And here's what I'm going to say. If you want to say hi to me or Tony or Baldy or whoever, right? Don't walk up and just interrupt somebody, right? Don't be rude and just interrupt. But if you see us and you just want to say hi or whatever, and again, we'll be down in the lobby until like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Stop and just say, hey, what's up, man? Don't introduce US Combat Dojo. I'm specifically telling you this, and this goes for everyone else. Don't introduce yourself as Robert if that's what your name is. I don't know if it is, because we won't know who you are. Now, if you say US Combat Dojo, well, then we'll know, and then introduce you by your name, right? Too many people will introduce themselves by their YouTube name, and it's like, unless you're doing YouTube, I don't know who the fuck you are. It's that simple. Now, I think 610 Yojo Daddy, I might know just because he said I really am 6'10". So I'm guessing when I'm like this, and believe me, I am that short, that is exactly how I will be. So there you go. Next, quickly, I don't know why I have this. I gotta start promoting a little bit more, and I think you're starting to see it in some of the reviews that I'm doing, and I'll drop a link right here, and that is merchandise. As many of you know, I got my stickers ordered for Joe Fest. It is a one-shot, 150 stickers. That is it. It is basically Roman there with Joe Fest 2026. I got those ordered, and I'm going to be putting a shirt up. But right now, if you are interested, it looks like all product is 25% off. If I don't hawk my merchandise, who the hell else is going to, right? If I'm not promoting it, no one else is going to. So if you are interested, I do have a shop. It has Circle of Jerks on it. Obviously, a Punk with Toys. It has Roman Duke on it. Different things like that. It's got apparel, mugs. Everyone loves mugs. Hell, it's got backpacks because it just allows you to put things in there. Bobby Wold has jumped in here. Bobby Wold, who I apologize. You're probably the worst person that I ever get back to. Because I don't know if you don't do social media, but you'll email me and I'll forget to message you back. So I do apologize. I do apologize. Grizzlehorn says, buy Punk stuff. He sells tasteful nudes. Yes, with every picture does not come with a nude of me. Maybe a foot pic. Anyway, if you are interested, like I said, there's shirts and different things like that. I will be putting up the Joe Fest shirt. I think I actually loaded it. I never made it live. So I got to do that. I want to do that before Thursday. So I'll get that up there. It's only gonna be a couple different colors if you are interested. And then when I get back from Florida, it's coming down, and that's it. There'll be no more chance of getting it. But anyway, and yeah, Jetman says, I'm looking forward to meeting everyone. Jetman, you're gonna have a blast. Don't run anyone over with your wheelchair, though. We have to ask. Please don't run anyone over. You know what? I'm taking that back. There might be a few fuckers that we'll point out. I know Ronnie's not planning on being there. I don't think Ruckship is, but Ronnie, Ruckship, and myself, there's at least one person that you can run the fuck over, and well, we just laugh. I hope Classified Ronnie is listening right now. I hope Classified Ronnie is listening right now. Bobby Wolf says you need to advertise your merchandise just like Yogurt from Spaceballs merchandise. Is that a short joke? No, you're absolutely right. I've thought about doing a commercial, but it's like so much work. David T. Allen, hello, Punk. Looking forward to seeing and hanging out with you at Joe Fest, and maybe seeing you in Florida as well. I don't know if I'll have time when I get down to Florida. I know you live down there. I have to actually sit down, and I talked to my ex, and she's like, hey, I need to know everything. Like, we need to write everything down. I'm like, you're absolutely right. So that I don't know if I'll be able to, but I would love to if possible. Ronnie Trickshot saying, sick 'em Jetman. Yes. And Skunkworks jumping in here saying, yo, I know he buys stuff, and he collects differently than us, but I know when I was on a show with him, I believe it was on Toy Elite, he was saying like, hey, I order a bunch of stuff overseas, and I'm able to just kind of put it all in one big lot, and they'll ship it all over at once. And he collects different. He's a 1/6 scale, 12-inch figure, so he does wonderful stuff too. So check out his channel if you haven't. All right. The crates, if you guys didn't order the crates, they're done. I think I might have some at Joe Fest. I still have to sit there and still have to talk with Radnam about it, but I think I'm going to try and get some crates to bring to Joe Fest. They'll still be the same price. Maybe I'll jack the price up because you waited too long to buy it. But yeah, we're going to, I should have some crates. I know that someone from Canada, Krusty, this guy here. Oh, Canada. Oh, I don't know the rest of it. It's not nearly as good as the Star Spangled Banner. But Krusty, who actually gave me this, that's the only reason why I have a Canadian flag. I know he said that he is interested. So I know I'll have at least 2 of them, or at least I'm planning on having 2. So he'll be able to get it, but I'm hoping to have a couple here. And let's see, what the hell do I have here quickly? If I can find it. And Baldy Fox Review says, just here to be seen. That's right. Everyone just wants to be seen. Steve Chom or Ted Knight jumping in here. We got Tim H. Say, finally, my YouTube algorithm started feeding your videos live. Again, not sure why it changed, but good to be back. And it's great to have you. All right. Well, I don't know where the hell I was at. I'm just rambling on about absolutely nothing. Shocker, right? Monday Night Toy Ramblings. You know, early on, I think it was like the first 2 months of my show. The first 2 months after I named it, because originally I didn't have a name. There was someone that made a comment and said 5 minutes in and all you're doing is rambling. We're an hour in and all I'm doing is rambling. Okay, as I mentioned quickly, if you're on Instagram and you want to give me a quick follow, that is awesome. I am 18 away from 2,000. Tony's Figs just hit 4,000. He just hit 4,000 subs. That is absolutely, it's crazy to think of. And I got this one. Tony's killed it on Instagram. But again, I would love to hit the 2,000 mark. It's going to happen eventually. If you're not subbed to this channel here, I'm very close to 9,000. What am I? 110 away from 9,000. So again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. A lot of times people are just being fed this and they're not subscribed anymore. And there's people you know, just like we just heard from Tim, like they are subscribed and they're actually not getting it because YouTube, hey, if you ever watched this in a while, so I'm not going to show it to you anymore. And vice versa. Hey, you've been watching this, you're not subscribed, I'm going to feed it to you. That's just the way that it goes. Let's see here. Oh, and also this. Punks with Toys on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, 840 members. We would have well over 1,000 if we just let anyone come in, but there's like 3 simple questions. Will you follow the rules? There might only be 2 questions. Do you agree to follow the rules? I think I put in no selling. Do you agree? And vintage or modern. That's it. People try and join. They don't answer it. Sometimes I know the name and I still just fucking say no. And I know Matthew does the same. Tony actually gets a kick out of it. It's to weed out all the bots because that's all we want to do. So if you're on Instagram, you want to join, it's no politics, no BS, and you know, no drama. There's enough fucking drama in YouTube. We don't need more of it. God knows there's a fucking lot of it. Yeah, look, Tony right here. This is the drama that we get. Answer the questions. I'll let you in. Like, yeah, hi, it's me. Says that's too many personal details, man. Okay, this week for all the channel members, I am planning on doing Punk's Pit. That could always change, but I was actually going to do it next week because I thought I had to film something this week. Realized it's actually next week. So if I prolong it to next week, then I'm going to be fucked that week trying to film way too much. So Punk's Pit should be this week. If you don't know what Punk's Pit is, basically if you're a channel member, I usually have certain people on, Matthew, Ed, the Viper Scout. You know, it's basically the only time you can ever see him. Tony's Figs if he's not working. Darren comes on, Crow. It's a lot of the same voices. We'll invite a few other people time to time. Originally it was supposed to be, whoever, but I thought having a specific voice of certain people, people learn to tune in and they like to have them on. But I like to have new people come on. Woody's almost always on smoking. He's always smoking, but he's never blowing rings. And that really, it breaks my daughter's heart. That he cannot blow a ring, and that is why his daughters cry when they talk to him because he can't blow rings while smoking. Anyway, we are going to get into the topic, and the topic is the price of these toys, this hobby, is it pricing you out? I know it sounds kind of stupid and kind of crazy, but hobbies are expensive, and this is not the only expensive hobby, but yes. Jetman is saying, is Baldy Locks going to Joe Fest? He fucking better be because I'm having him on my show the week before. As of now, he is supposed to be. I don't believe that he has still booked a plane. Hopefully, he has not booked this plane. Quickly, before we get in the news, I go to get an oil change, right? I go to Firestone, get an oil change, right? And as I'm sitting there talking to the guy, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing like Spirit is completely empty. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then I'm like listening while the guy's like typing everything up. And I'm like, they just fucking shut down? They just shut the fuck down? And sure enough, Spirit Airlines just shut down. And could you have, again, every single time something goes out of business, Halloween USA, Spirit Halloween, they take over. And this is just the absolute perfect one here. I saw this. I've been seeing the reels. I'm getting a total kick out of them. I absolutely love it. Yes, they've been broke for a long time, but no one knew. Like, they literally just, like, there was no way they didn't know that day they were shutting down, and the people that worked there didn't know. It is awful. It is not just Hasbro that lets people go. It is all these companies. So Plastic Fantastic said Derek and I will pick Zed up on the way down. You hear that, Baldy? Geeks have game jumping. It's getting almost to the point of getting priced out. And we will talk about that eventually when we get to it. Machine Man says, I take losing a ticket over a crash. You know what? That would be the most obvious thing spoken on on this stream. If there's something more obvious than this, I don't know if they could be. But anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, I'm going to take a quick breather as I need to. And let's hear from this guy.
Welcome back to Late Night with Mothman. Oh man, we've had such a crazy ride so far with all the amazing guests and shows that we've watched throughout this 36-hour stream. And I want to make sure y'all know we gotta keep donating. We gotta keep getting them numbers up. Skeletor, what are you doing here? Skeletor has come for the circle jerk. Ooh. Come again? That's the plan. Skeletor, I think you're confused. There's no this is a Late Night with Mothman, so I don't know what you're referring to. Man, Tony's Figs told me I could meet 4 bald men here for a circle jerk. And Skeletor will not leave until he's satisfied. Skeletor, I think you might be confused with the show. It's called Circle of Jerks, and they're not on right now. Then they do a show like every week or every other week or something. I don't watch it. Fool! I promise you, Skeletor is not confused. Skeletor, I'm trying to tell you there's no circle jerk going on here right now.
I got this. Skeletons. What you're looking for it's back here in the back.
Yes.
Skeletor will be satisfied.
I don't even know what's happening anymore, guys. So maybe we just kick it back to the 36-hour live stream, and y'all just keep donating money for Toys for Tots. Yeah, Late Night with Mothman, I guess.
All right. So from time to time, there will be a comment that truly makes me laugh. And Crow did it. Oh my God. Skeletor knows Tony's name. He must be so happy. I don't know why that made me laugh. But I'm watching it. I read this and I'm literally giggling like a schoolgirl. Geeks Have Games says, sorry, I was replying to the poll. Bobby, it's okay. You are allowed. You are allowed to post here. We are Goodwill here, not Gucci. We are an extension. I'm kind of like I guess there's a Gucci store. I'm more like a satellite Gucci store. Maybe maybe I have like I put a tent up, and that's how I run my Gucci store. But you are allowed. You are definitely allowed to post here. It doesn't have to just be in the polls. We love having you here. Facts, Crow. Tony just wants to be close to Mossman. That's all he wants. All right. Quickly, I am Goodwill adjacent, not Gucci. Just remember that. I am Goodwill. Gucci by Goodwill. We might have some Gucci stuff come in every now and then. Some rich person throwing stuff away that they don't realize what they got. You just never know. Maybe they got some free, some free Crimson Moon stuff, and they just want to give it to the Goodwill. We have M. Hatfield saying Gucci outlet. All right. So quickly, I do have this. I know I put this in here and totally forgot. I think I'm going to be doing this. I think I'm going to have this picture come out tomorrow. I told you there's something about this dinosaur, and I really, really, really do enjoy this agent of Omega. I know Ed Action Figs has been doing picture after picture, but it worked. And if anyone's wondering, that is It's supposed to be water. That is water behind it, but it actually works as the sky. But I just there's something about this stupid dinosaur, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But the Agents of Omega, again, I've been doing more pictures, and I have a couple more, basically with the dinosaur and the snake that I already have ready to go. It's just getting to that point. But anyway, there you go. Let's get into the toy news, and we'll start off with some Masters of the Universe. Allison Troy says, "Speak for yourself. I'm stunting like a Gucci, Fini Prada." Okay. I don't know if that's a song. I don't know. Masters of the Universe. What do they have for us here? So we have. This is the cartoon 200X, I believe. Tell me if I'm right. Mo Tuna verse. Who said that? I know I heard somebody say that. Billy Boy says, "I've never bought anything Gucci before." Nor have I. Nor do I think I ever will. So anyway, here you have Buzz Off. This figure is more creepy than anything, if you ask me. It does have big wings. It is a new mold, at least from what I can tell. It creeps me out. And I absolutely love Buzz Off. I love the original. I liked what they did with the Origins. This one's just fucking creepy. But if you want it, you can go get it. I don't want it. And here's how the wings do set. So it does look like the wings are nicely done. Ooh, hold on. It doesn't seem like the wings are nicely done. They can go down, so they're not taking up a lot of space. So I do like that. But yeah, it's something about it I just don't really care for. Russell Mew says, "Pink in the power of the Motu in the Motuniverse." Look at those skinny hooked legs. All right. So the core line, which is the new 5.5 line, you have a dirty He-Man. So clearly this is going to be from the movie. We haven't seen, at least I haven't seen any previews or any pictures of him looking dirty and muddy, but they are going to give you another figure, or maybe this is just one they're creating, right? I mean, how many times have we seen a movie figure of something that has nothing to do with it? So here he is. And then here's Man at Arms. Now, I don't know if I've seen Man at Arms. This is a second one. I don't think there's a second Man at Arms, but this is a look at the Man at Arms. These are up on Walmart. I'm trying to think I saw them at Target. I know I saw the Chronicle figures. I know I saw Man at Arms and Triclops at Target also. I've seen them both at Walmart. Walmart has a whole shitload of them. But I still haven't seen Skeletor. That's the one that I'm looking for. I obviously have the Scareglow. I'm interested in the Skeletor. It's the one that when I see it, I'll decide if I'm actually going to pick it up here. Lego Star Wars Kid says, "These look like they are for kids that don't have good taste. Sorry, not sorry." No, they're meant to be, they're $10. So you can't really complain it for $10, right? But I believe they have all the articulation of the Origin figures, like this guy. And this guy is, I totally forgot his name. It's lame. But here he is. This is, and I was really busy and I was burnt out. So, Gray, that's his name. His name is Gray. I was thinking Castle Grayskull. His name is Gray. He does have this nice little spirit on the back of him, whatever he is. But this is a Mattel Creations exclusive, so you can pick it up there. I'm hoping to get back to getting all the names and everything. I was just so burnt out. And let's just say the Star Wars that I dumped all the pictures because they were so fucking big. I was not going to be able to do it. So here is Gray. If you are interested, It is a different looking buck for sure. Not so much a buck, but the overlay, which makes him, he's the same buck, but a different overlay, different head sculpt. They obviously have pretty good combs in Eternia. So this guy, he's just chucking spears. But I gotta say this, even though I don't collect this anymore, I love the fact that this is what they've decided to do, right? They're continuing this. They're giving you more figures in their Origins line. This is exactly what you're supposed to get from, like Hasbro, the classified. Like they're trying to create new characters. And I don't know if they're creating new characters, but they're taking characters out of the lore that have never been done before in action figure form, at least not in this. So I love the fact that they're doing this. This is what companies should be doing because we want the line to continue. At least I do. I mean, I guess I can't speak for everyone. Timo, Luke, and Yoda. All right, so there are the comments that make me laugh. There's no doubt about it. Heisme says that's the Spirit Airline mascot's new job. And Heligeep says these are dope fakes for temp. I'm with you. Like if you have young kids, right, and you want to get them into toys that you're into or properties, we said the same thing about the power, what was the DC line? They're still doing it. I can't think of the name. Tony collects them. So Tony, if you're in, like, they were $10 and they were a continuation of what people had. $10, man, parents will buy it for their kids, right? So, and again, now this is not $10, just so you know. It's the other ones. It's the other ones. But yeah, it's cool that they're doing stuff like that. All right. So here's the gray zone. I don't know about the whole artwork, but this cover is awful. This is the mini comic. You can say what you want. If you like it, awesome. It's awful. Here's the back of it, Club Grayskull. I do love the way, again, I'll say it again, their artwork on all of their card backs is second to none. Second to none. They're that good. So, oh, look at this graph jumping. It's an APWT, the number one source of all things Motu. Glad I made it in time for Craig. And then Jay Solo Arcs jumping in there saying he looks like he's about to show off more than $10 you paid for. Okay, this figure is not $10. All right. These figures are $10, but they're the same scale, and I think the same articulation. So no one go there and be like, Punk told me. No, not this one. All right. Then we get Keldor, part of the cartoon. Once again, not $10. I think Keldor looks really good. Now, I gotta say, the one cool thing about the cartoon is they're not squatty potty anymore, right? If you don't understand the squatty potty, look at it in the original He-Man figure and even the Origins. They look like they were squatting down the potty. These are the same height, except their legs kind of extend straight up, so they're not squatting down all the time. I think this Keldor looks really good. I know they did one in Origins, but I like this one. I'm not sold on the sword, but we know what the sword is supposed to do. It's supposed to go together and form like one giant sword. And then you get this giant Roboto. Now this is kind of weird because it's packaged in it's packaged in that Origins box. So I don't know if this is like going to be around the same price point. I would assume that as big as Roboto is, he's not going to be $10, but is he going to be like maybe 15? He's boxed in the Origin style that like Mossman and some of those other guys were. So I haven't seen the price. I also haven't looked at the price. This Roboto is not, it's cool that they made something different, but something like this, I think you should have made a whole new character. Just named him something completely different. But technically he is a robot, so in essence, he could get destroyed, and you could turn him into something that looks more like the classic version. And I don't want the exact same, but so there is Ravato, and then here we have Webster or Web Store. I would not bring this one into my house. This is where they're starting to look too much like a spider. Then I don't want it. Hella Geek says only 2 minor gripes on Keldor. Would have liked more paint on the swords and a burned melting alternate head sculpt would have been amazing. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but again, this is, these lines have always been, I don't say lackluster, because this face sculpt is really good. Like, they started making some really nice face sculpts, but they're also at a they were at a cheaper price. They've gone up in price, so I think they're like $25 now, right? Speaking Moistly says spiders are the best. They eat flies. They make fly swatters. They make fly swatters. So there you go. He actually looks kind of cool. He kind of looks like the Iron Spider. I just, my feelings on spiders. All right, McFarlane Toys. I don't know if I think he actually showed off more. There was like some those divers, whatever they're called. I didn't see it. All I saw was this, which I don't remember. I've said before, I do not like Batman Returns. I don't know why. I love Batman 89. It is my favorite Batman. I do not like Batman Returns. I saw it at the movie theater. I don't remember liking it then. It is one of those ones where I've gone back and I've watched it again, thinking like, hey, you know what? Maybe my feelings have changed. And I just like it. And I can't explain why I dislike it so much. I'm just going to put this here. I'm not really going to say it. But it sounds like this is something that Spec or Toy Optics would have really, really enjoyed. So, that's what you're saying. You just said that this is Spec's Batmobile. So if you want this, again, McFarlane is going to dump as much stuff as he can. Before he loses this line. And then we have Solomon Grundy and a Green Lantern. I don't know what Green Lantern this is. This is only the pretty, the one shot that I saw. And believe me, I guess there's, no Batman, but there was a Batmobile, so that's pretty close. Hella Geek says, you're killing me. Lawrence, 89 and Returns are integral to my childhood. There are some things, and I don't know what it is. I'm a skateboarder. I think most of you know. Plan B's second video. My favorite team. They put an amazing video out. I do not like the video. I did not like it back then. I've tried watching it. Like, okay, maybe I'm going to have a different feel. I just don't like it. I don't hate it. I just don't like Batman Returns, and I don't know why. I think that's the craziest thing. It's like, it's the character. I love Batman 89, but for some odd reason, Batman Returns, I do not like. And I wish I could put my finger on what I dislike about it. So anyway, Tony says that Solomon Grundy is dope. I agree. I think he actually looks really good. Joe Fan 84 jumping in and saying, hey everyone, I'm finally home from work. Great to have you. I know you work long hours, so it is great to see you here. But anyway, that is my McFarlane news for the week. Oops, I forgot to put Star Wars. All right. So Star Wars did a stream. They dropped a whole bunch of Black Series. I had them all loaded. And just so you know, if you do a PowerPoint and you use StreamYard, it has to be under 50 megabytes. I put this all together. There really weren't that many pictures. It ended up being 167 megabytes. come to find out, it's all because of these fucking Star Wars pictures. So I dumped the Star Wars pictures and I said, you know what? I don't really care, but this thing is awesome. And I will continue to cover Star Wars. I'm just not going to try and figure out how I can fit it into a slide. Anyway, this thing is awesome. So if you haven't seen it, you can go check it on Toy Arc. I cannot find, like, Toy News Eye has Marvelous News. So they don't cover any Marvel stuff on Toy News Eye. They must have a Star Wars site also because they don't cover any Star Wars. So if anyone knows what Toy News Eye's Star Wars site is, please send it to me because I have no fucking clue what it is, which means I don't see any of their stuff. If I want Marvel stuff, I have to go head on over and look at Marvelous News. Stupid, but they're obviously using the website. It brings in money. Those websites, that's why you have, the different pop-ups. I love the guys over at Toy Habits, but I've told them I will never use. I probably should have went there. I bet they have it. I will never bring up your site on my live streams again because you have so many ads. It bogs it down. And Michael was like, I understand. I understand. And I understand why they have so many ads on it too. But anyway, this thing looks badass. But I had to remove all the really cool pictures because it was too big, even for this. But if you are into this, I mean, this is something that I'm not into, like, a lot of mechs for G.I. Joe to even customize. The snake armor is pretty cool, but I'm not really big into mechs and stuff. This is pretty badass. So this is what you get with it. One of the clone troopers, I think he actually might be an actual character. His two different guns, his helmet, this mech, and then I think that's a rock. I didn't watch the stream, so I can't really tell you too much about it. Lego Star Wars Kid says I would collect Star Wars Black Series if we didn't have G.I. Joe Classified. I feel like it's a rabbit hole that you wouldn't come down from or come out of, right? You start picking up only the stuff from the original trilogy. Oh, I like some of the stuff from I like some of the stuff from the Clone Wars. And next thing you know, you are just buying it all. Kind of like the G.I. Joe is. But anyway. And Stanley says, so when do you assume the classified SDCC reveal will be? Either when the live stream is on the 4th, or they'll do it right before it. I think the past couple years it's come out in, was it Gizmodo? That they've had all the SDCC exclusives from Hasbro. So it'll probably be one of those sites because that's what it does. I think they give it to another one of those bigger ones because they want to promote it. But that's probably when we'll see it. And it'll probably leak ahead of time and then they'll have it up there. But they'll probably put them all out at the same time. Whatever the Star Wars, Marvel, and G.I. Joe. And I think G.I. Joe might be having two exclusives at San Diego Comic-Con. I think I heard that. Don't quote me on it. Don't say, hey, Punk said this, but I think I heard that there's two San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, which might make sense because there's no longer the PulseCon. All right. MCR Mazda jumping in said AT&T. I'm sorry, AT&T. Oh, it's the ATRT. Yeah. I know the AT-AT and the ATST. And it is called AT-AT, not AT-AT, and it is called the ATST. I don't care what anyone says. Russell Lemieux says, don't be like me. I ended up with 27 501 first clones. 501 first clone. Whatever. All right. Here's how the box looks. Looks like they're really cramming it in there. This is cool though. This is something that if I had more room, I'd just buy just to have it. And then I'd buy I do have a Stormtrooper and I have a bunch of Mandalorian figures. So. Mezco. We knew this was coming, right? I think we all knew. We saw the solicitation of Robin. So we saw the solicitation of Robin, so we knew that this was going to come here. Okay, quickly here. Matthew says Grand Slam in Hell won't be SDCC. Did somebody say that was going to be SDCC? Yes. From what I've heard, if there is a Hell with it, it should be a Pulse exclusive. But I don't know. I didn't see where someone said that, Matthew, unless you're just throwing that information out there. I believe that the King Cobra Commander is one of the exclusives. I don't know what the other one is supposed to be, but I know what I swear I heard that there was two. But who knows? Anyway, back to this thing. Mezco here. We knew this was coming. We saw the Robin solicitation. This thing is really cool looking. And they nailed the Batman the Animated Series, right? The way this Scarecrow looked. I think it works perfectly with the aesthetics of what Mezco can do with their soft goods. I mean, this guy is literally a rag doll for the most part. But he just looks awesome. I am so tempted to get all four of these Batman the Animated Series. And then I also live in fear that DC comes out. I'm sorry, Mattel comes out and they give us a $25 price point ones that work just as good. Because I know McFarlane is doing them, but they don't even come close to what these are. So many different ways to disguise this guy, change things up. And this might be the best animated show. This and X-Men, like 1A and 1B. And yes, these are better than G.I. Joe and Transformers. Even if you like those better, these are just better. And Batman the Animated Series also gives us Justice League Unlimited. They give us Batman Beyond, which is I consider a continuation of this. And I absolutely love Batman Beyond. So, but if you are interested, this is one that you should get. Like if you're like, hey, I love the animated series, posable eyes, and if you're not paying attention, you can see all these different faces that you can make with this. It's just amazing. This shot reminds me of, and I don't remember what cover it is, but it's something with Nightfall. So if you remember Batman Nightfall, that is where Bane breaks Batman's back. This reminds me of a cover that they had, and it's. Does anyone know what cover I'm talking about? I swear I remember Scarecrow like having Batman's mask up on like his sickle like this. Or maybe it's just one of those Mandela effects that you think that you remember. Sean Jones has jumped in here saying, "What up, punks?" All right. Heli Geek saying, you're right. No matter what anyone wants to say about Mattel, they provide a decent bang for the buck. So far they have. And I think it is one of those ones. Hey, Roman, stop. It is one of those things where, so I lost my train of thought. So I'm just not even going to say anything. No, Nightfall. It's Batman Nightfall. It is a crossover of all his books in the mid 90s. Maybe, yeah, mid 90s, where Bane breaks his back. That's where Azrael becomes the new Batman. We get the new Batman suit. Batman, spoiler alert for everyone, Batman comes back. He beats Bane. I'm sorry, he beats Azrael, takes back the mantle, and then hands the mantle over to Dick Grayson, who becomes Batman for a period of time while Batman and Bruce Wayne actually goes to recuperate. And you get to see more anger between our buddies. Yes, Matthew, that might be the one. This might be the one I'm thinking of with the scarecrow behind him. But I swear there is one like with him, like where he had something on there. But again, you know how the Mandela effect works. Matthew just sent me the picture. I show it up here, but my camera don't pick up shit. But anyway, this is, again, if you don't have any Mezco, you know I have a love-hate with Mezco. They make amazing. Okay, Nightfall was 93. Nightfall is awesome. Like, for me, that's when I was collecting comics. I had Batman Nightfall, which was a crossover. And what I liked about Nightfall was they gave you the numeric number, unlike my favorite arc, Age of Apocalypse, where good luck trying to go back and read it now because you have no idea the order. You better find a graphic novel that puts them in order because you're not going to be able to figure it out. Batman gives you the order of it. And I believe Batnus, what was the one? There was two. It wasn't Bat in the Sun. What was it? There was another one. Those were the hard ones to find. Because they just were like off. Like they were books that not many people read. And really they had nothing to do with, if I remember correctly, the Batman lore. But they threw them in there so people would read them. So, anyway. Let's get to so again, all these different faces. Oh, and man, I don't have. Somehow it did not pick up. Man, it did not pick up all this. Like, well, you just have to trust me or go look. If you go look at Mezco, you'll see all the different stuff, and they have all kinds of, shows you the different masks and everything. So, all right. And on to NECA. So Friday the 13th, part 2. This is a movie that I remember on Saturday and Sundays being on all the time. To go back and think, like, this was on your UHF stations. It was usually on UHF. We had 20 and 50. Some of the movies that they put on Saturday and Sunday on regular TV, it kind of blows my mind when you look back at it, right? So this is Friday the 13th, part 2. No one really knows yet, like, the whole Friday the 13th, right? Like, the whole Jason thing, I don't think had really been fleshed out yet. So here he is. He's got the spear. And I don't fully remember his face and how he looked, but I remember him being completely disfigured. And then you can see his the head in the background. I believe that is his mama. He got the bag over his head. So I believe this is the only one where he's not wearing a hockey mask. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. But yeah, this is, again, I love the NECA accessories. Crow here saying, love the campfire accessory. Yeah, they do some awesome stuff with it. MC Armaza says they used to include a map for the crossover stories at the end of the comics. Are you talking about with the X-Men Age of Apocalypse? I don't remember that. I'm not, and that's what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't remember that. U.S. Combat Jojo says Batman Legends of the Dark Knight was good too. Yeah, there were a lot of good ones. Again, I loved it during that point. I love the new Batman outfit, the Azrael one. but I also understand why it can't stick around. All right, so this is NECA. When you get NECA, you understand the limitations. They make some pretty good sculpts. They give you amazing accessories. They give you really, really shitty articulation. The bad part is we know they can do good articulation from gargoyles. We know they stopped doing gargoyles. Fuck you, NECA. But anyway, I'm not bitter about it. You're bitter about it. So here's his face. He's got this eye drooping down. Eye kind of looks like Brenda Walsh from 90210. She has lopsided eyes. Oh, I should probably have Olivia come in here and look at it. She'd probably say it right away. We got the pickaxe, his machete, his butcher knife. So here's everything that he's going to come with. You have the alternate head, the bag over his head, but he's a Saints fan. They won a Super Bowl, so they're not that bad, right? Here's all the accessories, and of course you got the mama head, which I think is pretty damn creepy. If you I'm gonna be honest, I'm looking at it. The thing is pretty creepy. He gets the hockey mask in part 3. Do we not see the character in 1? Because I know his mom is the killer in part 1. You're right. Yeah, we don't really see it. Yeah, you're right. Good job. Okay, good job. Cobra Commander is here. And I know I saw Cobranomics. I forgot to mention him. Anyway. So there you go. If you want it, go pick it up or order it, pre-order, something like that. Here's the box, Friday the 13th, part 2. The body count continues. And NECA has some really good sculpts, but man, their articulation, and these are not playable toys. We'll just say that. They are not playable toys at all. Fatrid says, I thought I was the only one who noticed Brenda had lopsided eyes. No, Olivia and I talk about it all the time. Like, she can't stand seeing her. And it is so noticeable. It is so like the moment somebody points out that Shannon Doherty has lopsided eyes, you will never not be able to see that she has lopsided eyes. It is messed up. Yes, he jump scares the girl in the canoe at the very end of part 1, but he's a kid. Yes, I do remember. I do remember that. Again, these were always on like channel 50 and 20, which was our UHF channels. And again, if you're old enough to remember UHF, then you know what I'm talking about. And Hallie Geek says, I think part 1, Jason is only seen as a child looking like a mini sloth from Goonies. Yes. All right. The 4 Horsemen, they dropped some stuff that's going to be coming out for, I believe, Legion's Con, which is still a ways away. Matthew, you are correct. UHF was a great movie, and I will use the word great. Because I can watch, I could turn that on right now and watch it, and I'd be happy with it. Billy Boy's Toy says, I don't know why, but it makes me laugh that you watch 90210 with your daughter. I love 90210. I loved it as a teenager because it was so bad. She's 17 years old. She still likes to sit down and watch stuff with her dad. I think it's going to be one of those things that she wants to do with the rest of her life. Like when she's an adult, that we'll pick out a show and I'll go over and watch it, or she'll come over. But maybe it doesn't last forever. Maybe it only lasts till she graduates next year. And if so, I'm going to enjoy every moment that I can, because, these times don't last. MCR says, heard Shannon Doherty had real fights with Alyssa Milano while filming Charmed. Okay, so quickly, let's talk about this. We're gonna get off. We're gonna get off track. We're gonna remove this really quickly. So, Shannon Doherty, in an episode of 90210, they're trying to do the breast cancer awareness, right? Feeling for lumps. Boom, right? She thinks she feels a lump. She goes to the doctor, find out it's nothing. Shannon Doherty in real life died of breast cancer. As I said to Olivia, that is irony, right? Not what that song Isn't It Ironic, which was all bad luck. There's nothing ironic in Alanis Morissette's song. But irony is doing an episode of thinking that you have breast cancer as a teenager only to die from it. So we started looking things up. Remember, Shannon Doherty was fired from 90210. Then she was also fired from Charmed because she couldn't get along with people. Alyssa Milano was one person. Well, when Olivia was doing some research, and what I mean by research is reading stuff, she found where Shannon Doherty said before she died that Kelly, Jenny Garth, that she was not allowed to be at the funeral. And she says something to the effect of, I don't hate her. We've made amends or whatever, but it would just be fake for her to be there. So I just want to eliminate the fact of her even having to come here. Something like that. Like she had this in her will, like she was not to be there. Which it sounds kind of awesome. Like, hey, you can't come to the funeral. Good, I wasn't going to any, but now I don't have to make a fucking excuse for it. And like that's like she totally gave her like, hey, you know what? She doesn't even need to make an excuse why she's not here. That is very cold. That is very bitter. That is holding a grudge. And as much as Shannon Doherty is kind of a bitch, although she was like best friends with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I kind of have a lot of respect for that. That you're like, you know what? I don't want this woman here. Me, Jenny Garth can come to anything. She is still hot as fuck. Anyway, that was it. Back to the Four Horsemen. So this is stuff they'll be doing for Legions Con. If you don't know, there's another show that's happening like a mile or two away from Legions Con. I find this ironic because there were so many people that threw a little hissy fit, stomping their feet like kids when Joe Fest was the same weekend as DFW. Yet here they're going to do a show the exact same weekend a mile away, let alone DFW and Joe Fest being like 1,000 miles away from each other, multiple states away. I find this ironic, but whatever. So Legions Con, they will be showing off these two figures, King Arthur and Merlin. I believe that's who their names are. Now, once again, what you get at Legions Con or at the convention, they always give you a little more than if you would get it afterwards. These both look really good. Now, this night suit we've seen numerous times. I believe the Merlin we've also seen. I'm not sure if I have one of those, but I definitely have King Arthur's look. You have the wired cape, all the soft goods. Again, their articulation. There's a lot left to be desired. No doubt about it. But with that said, it is amazing. It makes the figures look that much better. The sculpts are always spot on. The paint, I'm not going to hear people complain about the paint like I've heard people complain about the Big Bad Workshop stuff, because their stuff is spot on. So if you are interested in any of this stuff and you want the full kit, find someone that's going to Legions Con and get it for you. Quickly, SCS Dog says the breast cancer death still coincidental, not ironic. Arnie would be doing something you think prevents cancer, but in doing that, you cause it. No, the irony is that they had an episode as a kid where she, of all the girls, she was the one that thought that she had it, and then she's the one who years later dies from it. Bad luck is Alanis Morissette's whole fucking song. Hi, it's me says, I saw Shannon Doherty at work one day. Is this Spec? I thought it was someone I knew, and she was preparing to try to chat and remember her name. I didn't, but I think she felt good about being recognized. Do you remember in Mallrats where the guy goes, Brenda? Dick. Intimatry says he could save himself, but not others. Ironic. Okay. Dr. Merlin Strange. That is a pretty good Doctor Strange cape, isn't it? Anyway. So there is your King Arthur. So here's everything that you're going to get. I'm assuming one of these head sculpts, and maybe the shield will be different. I'm not sure what's going to be different between the regular release and what they'll give you at whatever it's called. Legion's Con. So this is everything that you're going to get. And then this one here, I don't believe you're going to get the evil version of him. Now, from my understanding, they said that in lore, he has like this evil side or something. So he has his wings. He's got like this devil head and, hoofs. So if you are interested, there it is. Ask somebody. We all know, again, this is why you make friends in the community. Don't try and make enemies. So you can ask them, hey, can you pick this up for me? Most people are pretty cool. They'll pick it up for you at cost. But you know what? You want to throw a little bit of extra money if someone is going to do you a favor. And don't ever ask someone to send you shit for fucking free. How about that? Just remember that. If somebody gets it for you and it's $80, you better not think that you're just going to give them $80. You better be paying for the fucking shipping. All right. D-Town Joey jumping in here. I don't feel like I have ever seen you before. So you know what that gets?
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
All right. Let's see here. 3-star says, maybe since he's Merlin, he can work some magic to keep those wings from trapping while it's on the shelf. Not that I move him around, but my Jersey Devil, I'm looking at him now. His wings just kind of sit there. But I don't move him either. Billy Boy says, my wife asked what rock you've been living under your whole life. Is that? Oh, you must be talking to somebody else. You've never eaten shrimp. Shrimp's not good. It's kind of disgusting. A matter of fact, when I think of shrimp now, all I can think of is in Tommy Boy, where he's scooping out the pooper. All right, Skeletron. If you are a Skeletron fan, then if you order these are the production shots that were sent out for the RoboSkull Mark II. Yes, I had 2 or 3 of these on order. I'm ready for it. I'm definitely ready for it. No doubt about it. I want to see more 6-inch stuff from Skeletron. If you do not have Skeletron figures, if you don't have any of them, the Red Wolves, the what are the other ones? I forget what the other ones are. Gyre Wolf, and then what's the other one? What's the green one? Someone tell me. These figures are great. I don't care if they're $40. You see them at a show. Jungle Trooper. Thank you very much, Russell. Pick one up. You will not be disappointed. Now, it is disappointing that there's 3 figures and they're all the exact same figure. Just with different paint. The paint is amazing. The articulation is great. It'd be great if they had different weapons. Now, you saw their new 4-inch figure. I believe that's one of the figures on the back of the box that we'll be getting. So I think they're kind of giving you a look of things to come. You have the Yeti. So I believe you'll get a Yeti. That's supposed to be their weapons manufacturer. I gotta say, I'm excited. Now, this is not the exact color. They're just showing the production shots. Hopefully these will be here in the next couple months. All right. Now on to G.I. Joe. There wasn't a lot of G.I. Joe news. There wasn't a lot of G.I. Joe news, but there was some. So, quickly, this, if you missed it, this is my review of Zanya. Now, let me explain what happened here. I open up the figure, and the way that I do my reviews is I like to do them on one take, and I want you to see everything that happens. Now, I don't want to open up, and no one wants to hear the crunching sound of everything, and that's just going to add even more length to my video. So I popped her out, and she was like sitting at next to the swamp skier, or just laying down there. When I picked her up and I went to move her, I wasn't paying attention, and I could feel like it got lighter. And sure enough, I'm like, holy shit, like her whole body is everywhere. Now, she was not like this in the package, because you could see on the video, I put her together. So I wasn't going to do the review, but I'm like, no, fuck this. Like, I was still going to show this one off. I'm like, fuck it. I can put this together. Everyone can kind of see how it goes together. And, cool. So I did the review. Couldn't really do too many shots with her, but I thought having Zartan hold her head with the rest of her body all over the place was very fitting. I thought it fit very well. And I think most people also enjoyed it too. So as for the news, 250th anniversary Duke. I know if you ordered from Hasbro Pulse, I think there was 5 people that were able to order from them. He started shipping. He started charging. I believe he started shipping. 3-star says, was this the first classified you've had broken out of the box since Helix? Helix's shoulder was broken. Helix came after CoverGirl, whose arm was literally just not on. Yeah, those are the only ones. Helix has a broken arm. Now it stays on there. CoverGirl. I think there's only 3 figures that I've had. That's why, I can't get mad when people, when people are saying, "Oh, Hasbro," and dude, they're pumping out figures, and there's not that many that are broken. Now, I've had a bunch of, I can say a bunch. I've had a few of the Marvel Legends. My Jean Grey Cyclops 2-pack. That Jean Grey, her knee is broken right out of the box. So it's just one of those ones. So anyway, as for 250th anniversary Duke, we all had them ordered from Walmart and canceled. But don't worry, no one wanted it anyway. Once again, Cold Slither, right? They announced Cold Slither. I don't want it. Oh, this isn't anything I want anyway, right? Everyone. No one fucking wanted it. But then people lost their fucking mind, right? They lost their mind. People said they were quitting the line. They're done with this. Although now I believe you can still go to Hasbro Pulse and order that. This one, no one wanted. It is ugly. Why would they do this, right? Yet here we are. People lose their mind because first off, it's Walmart. They lost their mind because Hasbro Pulse sold out. Now you didn't want it, so I don't know why you're mad about it. But then people lost their mind because it sold out at Walmart. It was up on Walmart for quite some time. But then it sold out. And then they all canceled it. Andrew Taylor jumping in and saying Walmart has a mystery legacy Hank up for pre-order for $42. Yes, that is the next legacy figure. Pop Blender jumping in here saying Zartan is a kin slayer. But for all the people that had this canceled, I did too. Walmart put it back up for pre-order for the 17th. But yeah, it sold out. So this went up again today. I don't know how long it was up, but I was able to get my order in. So if you are, my guess is what happens is this is when they're expecting the shipment. The shipment doesn't come. They don't see it. They just cancel the orders because it's not a collector spot. They don't realize people are like, hey, I'll just wait for it to show up. They put it back up today. Probably got a smaller quantity too. And then they put it up for the 17th. So we will see if this actually starts shipping. But yeah. So the original thing that I was told is it is a snow rescue. That the next legacy is supposed to be a snow rescue. I'm not sure if that is still the case because I've heard rumors that it is supposed to be a different character now, where maybe it was never a snow rescue, but still a rescue style figure. So at least that's what I believe that it is. But the snow rescue, like again, I was told that rumor is now that it is not that at all. So, but I just say it's a mainline character. So it'll probably be out before it even comes, before Walmart gets it. But if you don't mind, if you use PayPal, if you don't mind getting, paying for it up front already, do it now. And hopefully it shows up. So anyway, if you wanted this, you had a little bit of time to jump back on here and order it. If you were on the social medias and you were following what's going on, I'm lucky enough that someone was able to send it to me and say, hey, you know what? Go ahead and order it. And I was able to get one. So 3-star says mine was canceled too. I'm mad at Walmart for their process, but not as mad as I would have been. I've never planned on opening China Duke anyway. China. Wow. Like you don't see how this is red, white, and blue USA? That's mean. That's mean. Anyway. But what did happen was the legacy figure. This did go up at Walmart, $42.97. Now they were the first to get the other legacy, so maybe I'm completely wrong, right? Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they will have it. And I believe October 1st is when they say this is supposed to go. Now, this is a mainline release, like all the legacy figures. So there's not going to be you're not really going to need to worry about, not being able to get this. Now, I will say this, when it comes to the legacy figures, I know everyone says they're going to wait for that Special Forces figure to go to Rosscon to be clearanced out. I'm not sure if you're going to get to see as many on clearance as you might think. As when I go to Target, they're almost always so you can tell that they've been picked through. There's 6 in a case. You go there, there's 2 there. So people are picking through them. People like this figure. Special Forces figure. Do I think $43 is too high of a price point? I do, considering they jumped from, what was it, 32 to 35, and then that 35 price point didn't last very long at all. And they was just kind of pushed through, and again, I don't think they have any intention of ever bringing it down. But anyway, 3-star says, I saw someone post that Target was canceling Ninja Zartan 2. Anyone have that happen? Mine are still. I do not. But what some people don't realize is if you do not have a good active credit card, and I will say this again, if you are ordering from Target, you should either get yourself a Target credit card or just a Target Red card, which is a debit card. They will not ping you. They do not charge you shipping, so you can order anything. You don't have to hit a certain price. And I think that they pretty much, they'll they take care of you when you're using their stuff. Again, they don't ping your credit card, so it's pretty good. G.I. Jetman says, we ever going to get a render of Iceberg? Yeah, I mean, you guys got to calm down. Like, you guys are like, you're like, you guys are too anxious about things, and you worry. Like, there's a lot of figures to come. There's a lot of figures still coming. All right. I've heard about a bunch of 2017 figures, let alone all the stuff in 2016. I'm sorry, 2027, not 2016. They didn't have them yet. There's a whole bunch for 2017 that I've already heard. 27. 2016. Okay. 26 and 27. 26, we still have a whole lot to come. They have a stream on, is it the 4th or the 5th of June for Yojo June? And that's when you're going to get to see all these. A lot of pre-orders, probably that. My guess is they're going to want the Iceberg to be coming out either right around the same time as your the HasLab, because you're going to want as many snow figures as possible. Stanley says the 3rd. So Stanley says the 3rd, but Stanley also is the 3rd. Go figure. I have not heard anything about 28 yet. Or 2018. Billy Boy says, I bought 4 Snow Serpents and 4 Action Force Steel Brigade figures in anticipation of the Arctic Hiss, and now I'm thinking I'm going to cancel my Arctic Hiss. You should send back the Steel Brigade. Anyway, I forgot about the Arctic Hiss. I better make sure I have some money on that card. So anyway, here you go. I don't know if you can still pre-order this if it's sold out. It was pre-ordered earlier today. Obviously, you can still see this there. And then this one here also went up. And this is the Snake Eyes with Varmin, and then the 788, I believe 788 Viper and Stealth Trouble Bubble. Now, $110. Now, there's a couple things we got to think of here. I saw someone throwing a fit saying, I don't know if they were throwing a fit, but they were bitching about the price. Understand that the new price point for a small vehicle and figure is $60. So if it's $60, this really should be, in their minds, $120. Yes, I am too into mystery. Like, the way they do their stuff, I thought this was going to be around a $140 price point. So you're getting the Ferret Buck, you're getting the Trouble Bubble Buck. Those went up to $55. I think that this was still priced at that point. I think when we see this elsewhere, and probably when this hits shelves, it's probably going to be $120. I could be completely wrong, but I'm just looking at the Zorana and the Chameleon and not Zorana, Zanya It's $60. And Hasbro, for some odd reason, with G.I. Joe, they do not like to give you a discount when you're buying multiples. Okay, what seems fair and what Hasbro does are two different. They don't care if it's all reuse. To them, all reuse means more money in our pocket. We've already designed it, right? That's how it's supposed to be in their mind. So I think this is a fair price if you are interested in this. I know there are people that are upset about the Snake Eyes buck that it's using because it uses the old Commando buck, which is still a good buck. I don't have a problem with them using bucks with pin joints, as long as they're not doing new bucks with pins. And who knows how long this one was, in the hopper. I think that they do. I do think that they move stuff around, to be 100% honest, when they're like, all right, well, let's hold off on this. We'll get the molds going later on. And Bobby, me and I know him and I have talked about it. If you look at the original steel core, I fully believe that they moved that 2-pack around. And that's why those bucks were so archaic to what had been coming out, is that they were moved around. So when they came out, they were still being built off the old bucks. When the Steel Core Commander and I forget what the other figure was, the Twilight Guard, when they came out, that buck is so much better, like so much better. So I think it would have been really cool to just use that. But so I think that's why you see that Steel Core, those first two figures, they kind of suck. This is the Snake Eyes environment, which is the repaint of the ferret, and I believe a 788 Viper or it's a stealth Viper 788 colors, with a stealth 788 color scheme, Trouble Bubble. So it is a 2-vehicle pack with 2 figures. So the 110 price point works. These new figures look like a picture of a camera. How do they plan on selling those? It's magic. Billy Butch says, I'm passing on this set. I'm not against it, but it's not for my class. And that's just it right there, Billy. Right? Like, we keep saying this. Like, if you don't like something, you don't have to buy it. It's really that simple. Backward says it's sold out. Damn it. I think this one's going to do better than what people actually thought. But I also am interested to see when it goes up for pre-order on Pulse, in Target or wherever else, if this is a $120 price point. And I have a feeling we're going to see it like that. But anyway, yeah, it's one of those things. And Stanley's right. Yeah, vote with your wallet. If you don't want something, don't feel that you have to buy it. All right. I love G.I. Joe and I love what they've done. Do I think everything is great? No. I'm also doing reviews, and I'm doing reviews by my own merit. Like, it's something that I chose to want to do. So I'm going to spend the money on it. And, my hope is that I can pretty much make back my money on the figures by doing my review. So even if there's one that I don't really want, hopefully I'm able to make back most of my money, and certain figures that I did want that the reviews did better, I'm able to offset it, right? Not everyone is in this position, and I fully understand that. And I will once again reiterate, I'm one of the lucky ones, and I appreciate the fact that, that I did get put in this position, right? But if you don't want something, don't buy it. I'm talking like Marvel Legends, Big Bad Workshop. If you think that the price isn't there, like if it's not value for you, then don't feel the need to buy it. My whole thing is, when you're coming to play clearance chicken, and I think most people know I'm not a big fan of clearance chicken. If you actually want something, don't try and play clearance chicken with it. Now, there are stuff that I look at and I'm like, hey, you know what? I like that, but I don't like it for 25, 30 bucks or whatever it is. If I see it for 15 bucks, for 10 bucks, I'll pick it up. But those are also things that if I don't get it, I won't look back and be like, oh, man, I really wish I would have got it. I really wanted it. It's not worth it for me. But if it's something that I want, I pay full price. And I think, again, if you're in the financial means to do it, if you're not, you know, again, we're going to get into this. That's where you need to watch what you're doing. So quickly, let's see here. MCR says, I feel really bad when I buy things I didn't really want. I feel like a junkie. It's because you kind of are. From my understanding, yes. I do not believe that this is a Walmart exclusive. I could be wrong. I know the Legacy figure is not. From everything I heard, I know that is. I don't believe that this is either. Because they had Night Force, right? Night Force is their exclusive. Like Ninja Force is the Target exclusive. Is that right? No, that's not right either. What does Target have? Because Target has exclusives too. Anyway, 3-star says I really need Walmart to be the first to get Don Marino Wave to see if they honor the pre-order price they gave me. I don't want to have to buy them somewhere else first. You don't have to. You don't have to. I'm going to say this. And this is not to try and deter anyone. All right. It's not going to try and deter anyone. Like Shark Eyes is here, so it's perfect for him. I'm just here to be seen, never for the toys. If you're trying to get into the review game, it's very difficult right now. I think there are select people for G.I. Joe. There's obviously select people for Marvel Legends, for Star Wars Black Series, and all these companies that if the financial means aren't there, I would not play the game. I'm still willing to play the game because as of right now, I'm still coming out ahead. It's getting harder with the price point going up. That is for sure. But I would say this, man, just for anyone that wants to do reviews, that wants to do what I've done, if you want to do what Beast Battleground has done, Shark Eyes is a different story. He's a different story because, you know, he's in Australia, so their releases are different than ours, right? So Shark Eyes is really mad that he can't get the new black from Hong Kong. That's what I have been told. D-Town says I can't hate on people that can afford to buy the more expensive HasLab toys. Examples: the Rattler, the Firefly helicopter, the Tiger Force, Leo Caser, and Unicron. Very Transformer. Sorry, very cool item. I just can't. And you know what? And we're gonna talk about that after I take a break because God knows I need a quick break right now. So just tune in. If I can find what I need, I'll play it. You know, I need to move certain things, so they're right there. There we go.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again?
Yes.
Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news, discussions, and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode. And hit that bell notification.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
All right. If you don't know, tomorrow, Circle of Jerks, 6:30-ish. Not Mondays, as Baldy put it today. I don't know why he was trying to step on one of his co-hosts' tails here, trying to get in my way, step on my toes. He completely messed it up, and I didn't even know until Crow messaged me, and he said, "Is Baldy going live or what?" And I was like, if it's Tuesday, and I thought Crow just was messed up, I didn't realize Baldy, who never does anything early, finally does something early and messes up the dates. And then after that, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Matthew and Pop Blender do a show over on Pop Blender's channel, so head on over there and check that out. So anyway, not quickly, we got a little bit of time. The topic is the hobby pricing you out? Now, we've heard people talk over and over and over how, I'm done after this. I'm done, right? People are always done, right? I mean, how often can we hear that they're done with stuff? We saw the people lose their mind over Cold Slither because it sold out in 2.3 seconds, I think. It was up there longer than Duke was. But then it came back, and I knew someone that spent $250 on one on eBay, and then they canceled it when it went back up into stock. And to me, and I guess eBay's supposed to be ending that, which will make me happy because someone purchased something from me and then they canceled it after they won the auction, which really pissed me off. Now, I did end up selling it, but that's not the point. The point is you're not supposed to be able to do that. But as I was going through the Big Bad Workshop stuff, and believe me, I know how much I paid. I know how much they cost me. And you're looking at $40 a figure, which is very costly. And I feel like they're overpriced. I'll be 100% honest. And yes, I like the guys that run it, but I got to be 100% honest. And I think $40 is a little too much because there is so much repaint. Now, am I still willing to buy it? Yes, because I'm invested in the line and I do like what they're giving us. But we're getting to a point where, and we heard it when they went to 25. Remember when figures went to 25 for Hasbro and everyone said, I'm done. I'm not spending that much. And I've always said before, if you don't feel $25 is worth it to spend on an action figure, there's nothing wrong with it. The price of everything is going up. It sucks. You cannot go buy a car for $10,000 anymore. You're going to be spending $50,000 to $60,000. Try and buy a pickup truck for anything under what, 50? Good luck. You're getting a bottom of the line fucking vehicle. So toys are no different. Air fryers are no different. Everything is going to go up. Grizzlehorn, have a wonderful night. Great to have you here. Catch the replay. You can finish up if possible. So what, as we see the stuff go up, and like I said, I'm in a position where I was able to grow a YouTube channel. And I know a lot of people think, hey, you know what? You point that camera at you and you just start recording and you've gotten lucky. My son has told me you just got lucky. There's a lot of luck that's involved. There's also a lot of hard work that I put in. And I've listened to people say that, oh, all you do is just record. Like, dude, like there is so much more. I've watched so much stuff on YouTube and growing a channel, how to do better live streams, how to engage with people, how to engage with you. Like it is all a process. The Amazon affiliate stuff, that is another thing that I have invested into in how to do it and why I push out. And people will ask me, why don't you put links to BBTS and Hasbro Pulse? Because they don't fucking give me any goddamn money. I'm putting links out. You guys all know where to get it. I'm hoping you guys, except for Amazon. Amazon's sometimes a pain in the ass to find. So I'm hoping that, hey, you guys see that I put it out there. You're able to click on it. Boom. So I'm one of the lucky ones. I've been able to break even in this hobby. This is not going to change. This is not going to be my daily job. All right. I am going to be fixing copiers to the day I fucking die. At least to 65. But as I see these things going up, and even for me, now I have a lot of issues with space. I do not have a huge house. It is another thing that, I can honestly say, right? Like I don't have a huge house, so I don't have a huge mortgage. I don't have to worry about specific things like that. But we're getting to the point where we're starting to look at the prices. And when you're looking at all the stuff from Big Bad Workshop that's coming out at $40 price point, at what point do we have to start sitting back and saying, I can't buy everything that I want? I know more than a few people that you had to put down a little bit of money. I think it was like $12, maybe it was $17, something like that for the down payment of the 5 figures, and then to get the extra figure to go with it. And then with the other one, you only get like 2 extra head sculpts. You don't really get a discount. This one here, the Soldiers of Fortune, it's better because they give you the free figure, the Jaguar. But I know a few people that canceled that, which meant they lost that money. Like they were out that money. And so at that point, like you're justifying like, okay, why I put $17 down. I'm willing to lose that money because I need to save 60 or 80, I guess. And if you're doing stuff like that, then okay, I have to take what I can afford. And I know a lot of people in here, a lot of people in this hobby, they spend recklessly. I mean, I think we can all agree with that, right? I think they buy toys before they make their car payment, before they make their mortgage. And that is where you need to, you need to reevaluate your position in life and the things that what you're putting up in value, right? Scott, not Bob. You have to be brand new. I feel like I would remember that.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
Scott, not Bob, saying, what's up? Not priced out, but I print a lot of my own stuff now, vehicle wise. And even that, like that is something that is very pricey. I've said it before, when it comes to 3D printing stuff, especially if people do a good job, you're going to be spending a good amount of money. That's another cost. You look at Gridiron. They're selling $400 vehicles, and people are buying them like crazy. You see it in the pictures that people are buying every single thing that Gridiron will do, which is absolutely crazy. And for me, we got TC jumping in here. See, and then we have Palpatine saying happy May the 4th, brother. Same to you, Palpatine. But there comes a point, because we've heard people talk about Hasbro, and again, Hasbro does not make poor quality. like everyone thinks. And yes, this is coming from someone who just opened a lasagna who literally fell apart. I believe that was a total one-off. Now, I did see somewhere, I saw something back here. I should really start starring stuff and make it easier. But Shark Guy said try $70. Now, again, I know that the dollar is different between here and Australia and obviously Canada and Mexico and everywhere else, right? But I don't know like how that equates to. I've always been under the assumption, and again, I'm not an economics major, that the reason why certain things are more expensive in other countries is only because of what the dollar is. But that would mean that certain things were going to go further and not go as far. So I'm not sure exactly how that equates to everything with you. I feel like if I was to buy it from here, I should be paying roughly the same price. But you're also not getting it directly from, the manufacturers or the discount stores. But with Hasbro now hitting $28 for the classified figures, Black Series, Marvel Legends, at what point are people willing to say, all right, I can't do this anymore? Or do you just cut back on how much you're buying? Vehicles have gone up. Now, G.I. Joe is really the only 6-inch line that is pumping out vehicles. There are adjacent vehicles. That we have, right? And so you're looking at like Fans Hobby, Acid Rain, right? They made 3 different vehicles. Now they've done different colors, but only 3 vehicles that they've actually made. Then you have, Valaverse. He's made how many different Vanguards? They're all the same, they're all the same buck. They're all the same body, different colors. He's come down in price. I really don't believe that has to do with anything with the tooling or anything. I believe that has to do with having too many in stock, because I just don't think they sold as well. I could be completely wrong. I'm just looking at how long those things have been out there, and you don't go from 185 to 110 and then throwing them in blind boxes for like $100 if you really sold that many. Just my personal opinion. Then you have guys like Mezco, right? $325, overpriced fucking Rumbler. I like it. It's overpriced. And that's to say, that's being very nice about it. Great figure. That's $125 right there. So you're still looking at a $200 vehicle. We have McFarlane Toys, who's like pumping out vehicles, right? But nothing specific for, any one line. It's not a company. G.I. Joe, Hasbro, they're the ones that are just pumping out vehicle after vehicle after vehicle because that line was created on it. But we went from $100 price point of the Vamp, which I think was fair, to now, right now, that would be $110 price point. And then the question is it going to go up again? And one of the biggest problems that I have felt, and this has always been an issue, is that they never bring prices down. And I've said this numerous times, right? Food will go up and down, right? It is a yo-yo effect when it comes to food. Eggs, remember when eggs were what? Almost $6? And now they're like $1.40 again, right? They're going to go up and down. Food will go up and down. When it comes to products like toys, they don't cut the price. Most don't. Valaverse is the only one that I can honestly think that has cut the price. They normally don't cut the price. They kill the line, and when they bring out a new line, they bring it down at a lower price point. And I don't know if that's a marketing thing, if there's a reason for that, but you never see it. I don't foresee ever seeing any of the Hasbro stuff, Black Series, Legends, Classified, coming down below 28 again. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we can come back and you guys can all call me a fucking idiot and say, you know what, you're an idiot. They came back down to 25. They went back to $22.99. I just don't see that happening. They like to hit a certain point and they're going to leave it like that. Fiddle Chips. All right. I know I've never seen this name before.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
So Fiddle Chip says, I never go all in on modern. There is something cool coming out every single day. I buy a lot of toys, but I never get FOMO from modern. Vintage, on the other hand. So I kind of feel differently about that. And what I mean by that is I feel differently on like, I don't feel FOMO on anything vintage because it's vintage and it's going to be there at whatever price it is, probably for the rest of their life. But I'm with you. You know, that's why I say if there's anything that you want, don't try and play clearance chicken with it. I want all the G.I. Joe classified. I bought one figure, and that was Destro, early on off eBay. Everyone else I've been able to get through Hasbro Pulse, BBTS, Entertainment Earth, you know, Walmart, Target. There's been a couple friends that have helped me out with certain things where I haven't spent more. But it is one of those things that as this price point goes out, people have to decide whether or not this is too expensive for them. And we're starting to see already that people are going, all right, well, especially with the G.I. Joe Classified, a lot of people are seeing figures that they don't have a nostalgic feel for. So they're backing away from it and they're letting it go. And that is perfectly fine. That's how you're supposed to speak with your money. I want it all. So I'm going to purchase it all. And I'm not going to play the clearance chicken with it. I'll play clearance chicken with certain Marvel Legends or Black Series or other stuff that I might find on BBTS, Target, different things like that. Quickly, Dominic Johnson says, I don't know how you do it, Punk. Making videos, doing these live streams, plus a job and a family life. I give you a lot of content creators. I give you and a lot of content creators a lot of credit. It's an expensive hobby and it's nonstop for you all. I can honestly tell you the last week has just been frustrating. Like, it has been exhausting. Frustrating was the wrong word. It has been exhausting. And this, I'll say it again. It's something I choose to do. And family life gets in the way of a lot of people that are doing this. That is a choice. I only have a gripe when people whine and cry that they're not as popular, that they're not doing as much, that their videos aren't doing well, when they really don't want to put the work and time into it. And when they'll criticize me and other people who we make that decision, right? We make that decision to come home, say hi to the dog, pet him a little bit, watch some TV with my daughter, and then go downstairs and put together a couple videos. It isn't easy. And thank you very much. I thank you. I always say people don't know how much time we spend behind this, how much time I spend here putting this together, doing other things, and no one else cares. It's, again, like they don't care about an actor and all the work it puts in to make a movie. They want to be entertained. Pop Leonard says, it's not even about budget at this point, in my opinion. The prices become too much for even the most ardent of collectors. Pricing out your hardcore fans is a sure way to kill the line of anything. Is it? Because have you looked at the price of fucking cars? But go in and talk to a car dealership, right? Go in there and ask them, Pop, and say, hey, how well are cars doing? And they'll say, man, we can't keep them in stock. And how much are cars? That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is not a cheap hobby. Most hobbies are not cheap. All right. I finally heard people start complaining about skateboards when skateboards started going up and people started losing their minds because skateboards went from like $60 to $80 a deck. I might break it in a day or two. You might. The problem is skateboards never went up in like 40 years. From when I was a kid, they were $55. When I started skating again at 40, 10 years ago, they were like $58. Like, it's the one thing that's never gone. Wheels still the same price. Trucks were still the same price. They finally started going up. But yeah. And let's see. Scott Not Bob says, yeah, you can't do the car thing anymore. Exactly. But there are people that are still buying it. And I think what's happened is that you had people that became completists. And we had all this free money. And all that free money that we got from the government, it was never free money. Just remember that. we all said it was going to come back to bite us, and it has bit a lot of people. But it's one of those things where you sit there and you make that decision. And we're seeing more and more people. Now, I think the people that own the high price items, Mezco, SHV, UART, stuff like that, it's not going to affect them. If you're already spending $125 on a figure, if it goes up to $135, you're not really going to blink an eye. You're going to pick it up. Be like, okay, well, the price went up. I'm already buying something expensive. You have people like Super 7 who feel that they can charge more, and they're already overcharging. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking? But Hasbro can look and go, all right, well, you know what? We don't need the hardcore collectors. And this kind of goes with what Pop was saying. Like, what Pop was kind of saying, Pop, and you're out, and that's what I'm saying. You're right. This is not a necessity. A car is. So a necessity, you should find a way to make it more affordable than what your fucking hobby is. Because hobbies have always been expensive. If I was skating like I was, I'd be going through way more. And I can't even turn around and resell a board that I've broken. So, that one I can't go with. Food, right? Food goes up. Like, that's something I have to have. This is a hobby. This is not a necessity. So if they price someone out, but it is offset by somebody like myself or Woody or whoever that is still buying it, it doesn't really matter to them. Their cost is still the same. Woody says, I feel like the most of the people in the hobby only have a few $100s a month are going to suffer the most. You're absolutely right, which makes up way more of the hobby than people that spend a lot. And I think this is where we're going to see how it goes, right? Where if people start pulling away, and I mean, I have read I read all my comments. Many people said, hey, you know what? I'm living vicariously through your reviews because they can't afford it. And that sucks for them. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it sucks for them that, hey, they want to buy stuff and they can't. And I think most people that ever watched my show, they've heard me say, like, if you're a figure swapper, fuck you. You're some of the lowest low piece motherfucker. If you can't afford something, it's perfectly fine. There is no shame in saying I can't afford a $25 or $28 figure now. And there's no shame in saying, hey, you know what? It is not worth it to me, right? There's no shame in that. There is shame in buying a figure and then packaging a $5 figure and taking it back to Target or Walmart. You are a piece of shit human being if you do that. And if you're watching right now, you can go unsubscribe. I don't really give a fuck. I tell you to your face, you're a piece of fucking shit. I mean, I'll tell you what, if I ever saw someone fucking bringing something back like that at Target or Walmart, I'd fucking tell the employer right there, that ain't supposed to be there. And more likely be a big fat fucking slob. Now I'm just stereotyping everyone. But like what he said, the people that can only spending $200 on a hobby is still expensive to begin with. And when they come in these big spurts, but how many people get into the hobby and they start buying other things that they're really not into because they're jonesing. They can't put their money away. So someone that has $200 to spend a month on the hobby and they're only into G.I. Joe, but next thing you know, they're buying Valaverse, they're buying Operation Monster Force, the Big Bad Workshop stuff, rather than putting that money to the side and saying, well, G.I. Joe's going to be giving me more. How many of those people do that? So Tripwire says, that's not an offset. Those people were still buying when you did. So when you stop, their profits go down. Unless if they're making less and they're still not going. If they're not paying more, to produce the figure. Or this is the other thing, and you should understand this. You're a very smart guy. I talk to you all the time. When the price goes, when their cost goes down, they don't pass that back on to us. Can we all agree with that? I think we all can agree. Look at the Boss Fight Studios prices. They've just shot, like they've been going up, and now they've hired Lenny and Corey full time. Do you really think that they're going to go down? Yeah. Scott Nabob says free money. No, no generation that was paid off to look the other way. I live in Chemical Valley. We have some weird cancers here. And again, that's what I'm saying. Like, that free money was not free money. That's what I'm saying. Everyone thought it was free money. It was not free money. Yeah, well, again, I don't think that's the reason, but they've been raising prices. But yeah. So why would you give up profit? Well, again, that's the whole thing, right? This is where you start pricing things, right? Gas goes up. So when we know when gas goes down, now it's going to take a while, but if it's costing them less money, they don't take that into account when it goes up again, right? They're just going to raise the price. Fiddle Chip says never put toys on credit. Paying interest is on non-essentials is a really bad idea. Unfortunately, we live in a world that is what people do. And I've done it. I'm not going to deny that. I have done it. And, the way that I have, again, I had a plan when I saw the YouTube channel growing and what I could do. And I made it work to a point. And once I got to that point and I was able to make money off this, I balanced it out. And not everyone's going to be able to do that. But you are absolutely correct. And this is why when all the pre-orders hit and people start losing their mind, I've always said you should have already put that money away. Right? You pre-ordered that, that 250th anniversary Duke. You should have put that $28 to the side so when the pre-order hits, it's there. That's why I don't feel bad for people that are like, I don't have the money, everything's hitting at once. It sucks. I mean, it sucks, but you're right. You should have put that money aside or have a credit card. You have a credit card that, hey, you know what? It hits there and then I pay it off at the end of the month. But you are absolutely right about that. But people do it. And again, we do it like all the time. But yeah. Stanley says, like, Disney adults going into debt to vacation monthly. I can't speak for that because I don't go on vacations monthly. Going to Disney is very expensive. That I will fully admit. And when you have kids, it's different because you want them to experience that when they're young, and it's magical still. But yes, it is the same thing. It is definitely one of those things for sure. But we're at a point where it's like these companies are raising prices, but I know Crow says, hey, you know what? Why would they lose? Why would they be willing to give up profit? And this is when you kill the line. And G.I. Joe is profitable now. G.I. Joe will be profitable again. But if it gets to the point where it's not profitable, unlike Star Wars and or Marvel, like those are huge profits for them. So they can kill the Legends line and then come back with a new line that it may have the exact same articulation, but they've called it something different. And they go down to a $20 price point again. Now, I don't think these figures are ever getting back down to $20. Let's be 100% honest. They are not getting back down to $20, not anytime soon. So Scott here says, I remember the crash of 1988 and the other crashes. Prices going down never happened. Companies just amalgamated and squeezed more. Hence all your protests. And that's why I said, like, so again, perfect example. This new Mattel line, what's it called? The core line. They look to have the exact same articulation, exact same size as the Origins line, but they're $10. So why don't you, why don't you just bring down the price? You don't even have to bring them down to $10. Bring them back down to $15 or $17 if you're able to do that with this core line, because you can't. And again, I'm not saying you can't. They don't or they won't bring stuff back down because they feel like, hey, people are going to expect this all the time. Cars are the exact same way, right? The Challenger was never going to go down in price. They're going to kill it and then bring back another vehicle and go, hey, look at this. This is, an entry level vehicle. It's what they've always done. So D-Town says Vala, and I've heard this from other people too, so it's not just Vala that says it. Vala has said that the royalties Hasbro pays to Disney for Star Wars and Marvel are ridiculous. Would love to know what the dollar amounts are. They're ridiculous, but remember, they're not just getting Black Series. That's what a lot of people don't think of. They're not just getting Black Series and Legends. You're getting all the games. You remember Hasbro owns all these games, all the kid toys. So that license is more than just that, but it is all built up into that. It's all built up into that. So that is the reason why you pay these huge licensing fees, because you know that product is going to sell. So, so Stanley, this is okay. Will G.I. Joe survive after our generations? Fandom dies after 40 years. How long has G.I. Joe been around? G.I. Joe is military. Will a real American hero last? I don't know. They're not doing a real American hero. They're doing classified. G.I. Joe started off as 7-inch figures. Then it became the Action Man. Then a real American hero line came, right? And then Sergeant Savage. There will be another G.I. Joe. Will it be like what we see? Probably not. And that's okay. It's called evolution, right? And that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Like, let's just say this. Is war going away? Right? Is war ever going away? Are conflicts ever going away? No. So neither will G.I. Joe. Now, G.I. Joe as we know it, as Stalker and Gung Ho and Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, will they go away? Possibly. Or will they just reinvent them? Yeah. I truly do believe that they will. And eventually, the classified line will get killed off when it gets to a price point where people can no longer do it. The other thing is size-wise. It's you're looking at the size and the space of these vehicles. And G.I. Joe was a vehicle line. So was Star Wars. But Star Wars Black Series seems to be perfectly fine without vehicles. Roman, can you just sit down for a little bit, buddy? We're almost done. I promise. Want to say hi to everyone? Come here. Say hi to everyone. Say hi. Say, oh, hi. I know. I can't let you out right now. And everyone's sleeping. Actually, I don't know if everyone's sleeping. But it's just an idea, that I'm seeing the more and more of these prices going up. We saw people lose their mind because the ramen toy. So the ramen van, he's coming out with the version 2. And if you buy multiples, he's giving you a discount. People were super pissed off because if you bought this, people thought you should have given me a discount. No, you bought it. You got the product that he offered you. You can't go in with your old Dodge Charger and be like, you need to give me a discount because I've already bought one. It doesn't work like that. And D-Town Joey, thank you very much. He is he's the show. Thank you. I definitely do. I appreciate that. But no, it's just, these toys go up, and again, this guy here, Matthew, Black Series had bunches of vehicles. Did they have bunches of vehicles? Then sat on the shelves and were discounted, so no more vehicles. They didn't have bunches. They had the snow speeder, and they had the TIE Fighter. The only other things they've ever had really are they didn't do a Black Series X-Wing, did they? I don't think they did a Black Series X-Wing. I mean, am I wrong? I could be. I could be. But you're absolutely right. And those vehicles are really big. But when people lose their mind over, Cover Girl, why would they give you a Cover Girl and not a Wolverine? Because first off, they didn't know how well the line was going to do. Second off, you have TIE Fighter pilots. You have X-Wing pilots, B-Wing pilots. Yeah. So there's that. Like, they give you pilots. Why did people lose their mind when G.I. Joe didn't give you vehicles? Especially when they didn't know what it was going to do. Remember that Vamp that everyone lost? Yeah, they did the Snow Speeder and they did the TIE Fighter. And the TIE Fighter is huge. Like, if you've never seen the TIE Fighter in person, it's ginormous. If you can see it, that's the Robo Skull. The TIE Fighter is way bigger than that. Like, the wings on the TIE Fighter are so much bigger than that. And I thought that thing would actually be a little bit bigger. And it's not. People that haven't seen the Rattler in person don't realize how big it is. And you look at what Ramen Toys is doing with that F-14, that thing looks to be about 9 to 10 inches longer. Good luck on that one. Listen, anytime that I can prove Matthew wrong, it is a good day. It's like a good deep breath of fresh air, which we don't really get here. Now Scott says, I kind of wish I stuck with the 3 3/4 because of space issues. 1/6 scale is a bitch too. Well, 1/6 is crazy. 1/6, like you need your own 5-car garage to justify that. But it's just one of those things. Are we going to get, are people getting costed out? And I think they are. I see it. I read the comments. Numerous people are sitting there and they tell you, numerous people are there and they tell you, hey, you know what? I'm watching your videos. I can't afford this. Hey, you know what? I love this, Crimson Moon stuff, but I only ordered 4 figures because, and it's smart. That's what I want to say. It's smart. You're putting your money in your pocket, and it's a smart thing to do. And I applaud people that have self-restraint because you need to. D-Town says, saw the McFarlane Batwing in Ross and Dungeons and Dragons. Is it Dungeons and Dragons during Christmas? That was a big box. Cool toy. Looked like it took up too much. Okay, that Batwing is very large. Very large. But I believe, if I remember correctly, that Batwing can be hung on the wall. Like, I believe it has a base that you can screw it to the wall so you can hang it on the wall. But yeah, that thing was very large. Oh, DD's is his own. Oh, that's right. Oh, it was owned by Ross. I think Spec said he has DD's by him. Okay, I thought you were trying to say that it was another thing that you saw. And you know, there were people that lost their mind because they weren't able to get the Batwing because somebody else bought it, and they acted like they were like entitled to it. Again, I love entitlement. It's one of my favorite things. But again, I just wanted to, you know, see what people thought. And, you know, when I look at this here, I look at the poll. Where'd it go here? 125 votes. 42% said that they are being costed out. 48 said no. 4% said I get free stuff. And nope, because I have YouTube money. Again, these are all ripping on me. But I put up there. But it's just one of those things. I think that we'll see lines die, and that's how they bring prices down. I think smaller independent companies, they might be willing to do it. And again, it doesn't mean that a company can't do it. It just means they don't. It goes back to Hooded Cobra Commander, right? We never said they can't do Hooded Cobra Commander. We said that they're not allowed to, that they can't do it because they're told by the people above. That always could change. And from my understanding, it has completely changed. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I see there were some new people. Scott, great to have you here. I love people that come in here and they have something to say. I love the guys that have been around for quite some time. I got D-Town in here, D-Town Joey, Scott, not Bob. If you've been here before, you haven't chatted as much as you have today, so I absolutely love hearing. I hope I'll see you again. Again, I'll be on Circle of Jerks tomorrow on Baldy-Locks Reviews channel. So look up Baldy-Locks. It's not hard. Circle of Jerks. It's not hard to figure out who we are. And okay, again, there's a lot of people I know, they just, they never, they don't comment, but you had a lot to say. And I want people, especially new people, to understand. I have no problem with people coming in here and having a different opinion than I do. Again, all you're hearing is my voice, but I like to make sure when I'm quickly reading through people, through the comments, that I'm trying to take in as much of what they're trying to say. And again, it's hard to have an argument. And again, an argument does not mean you're yelling and screaming at it. You're having a discussion with someone that has a different opinion. Because I'm the only one that can constantly tell you why you're wrong. But I try not to always tell why you're wrong. I like to listen to what people have to say, because Matthew and I know we've talked about it before. There is nothing wrong with changing your opinion when facts are brought to light and you go, oh, okay, well, I was wrong about that. Matthew's never been wrong, except today about the TIE Fighter. I mean, the X-Wing. But it's definitely one of those, one of those things. So I love having new people come in, new voices. Again, we don't let things get out of hand here. I have two really good moderators. We've had very few people that have been a problem. So anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna pimp my own stuff right now. As I mentioned, my Instagram, I was 18 away from hitting that 2,000 mark. So if you're on Instagram and you think that I give you some stuff that you are interested in, please hit that follow. We're closing in on 9,000 subs. I love to hit 9,000 before we get to Joe Fest. I think it's going to happen because I think I'm 110 away, something like that. I just love to hit there. The social medias, Facebook. There's a Facebook group page, Punks with Toys. You just got to answer a couple questions. And I also have my own page, a Punk with Toys. So I'll put stuff out on there. I think there's like 140 some followers there. It is me. So if you are wondering, it is me. I just put out the reviews, some pictures, some shorts, different things like that. Everything that I can to help kind of grow this brand and this channel, I try and do. So I can't do it with all you guys, without all of you guys. I think we had like 90 people watching, 60 people still here. So many people stay from the beginning of my long rants and ramblings, but you guys are willing to come in here and give me some of your time, so I appreciate it. And that's why I like making sure I get through everyone's name if possible. But I am going to get out of here tomorrow. Circle of Jerks, 6:30ish p.m. on Baldy Locks channel. I will see you guys there. Take care.